It's tax-free. It's tax-free. It's tax-fucking-free. Everything you give me is tax-free. It's tax-free. Tax-free. You know what's really sad is Ethan Ralph is not here to enjoy being tax-free with us because he's dead or something. He's been gone for like a week. He's apparently in some Colombian drug house in El Salvador or some shit, and he's just fucking gone. That's right, it's tax-free. So unfortunately, Ralph did not survive long enough to see tax-free become a reality, chat. So, poor Ralph. It has been a, I do love Drumpf. I love Orange Man. Orange Man is the goodest Orange Man. Let's see. Where do I begin with this? Oh, it's the YouTube segment. I have to put the YouTube hand up. That's of course. Of course. I've invented new rules that I must follow, chat. Let's see here. Ralph was right. You know who was wrong? Anime. Remember when Anime tried to tell me that super chats wouldn't be tax-free? Sorry, Kershey. My torch lights the way. I'm right again. I'm right as always. Don't even try. The Animes always think they can come up and correct me and tell me what's right and wrong. And unfortunately for them, I'm always right. Very good. Pleased to be tax-free finally. Let me give you guys a little bit of a teaser. Today is the due date, but it's due by the end of business day. And so I'll just give you the rundown. You may notice that the Supreme Court of the United States is in the letterhead. I am once again contacting the Supreme Court Justice Children to inform them of my various stances on things. Specifically, to give you a quick rundown, specifically in Greer's lawsuit, which began 5 long years ago, we won, and then the 10th Circuit Appellate Court made an absolutely preposterously terrible decision that completely muddied the waters in regards to what is fair use and what is knowing infringement and vicarious liability in copyright infringement. This decision was terrible. Very bad, and we petitioned the Supreme Court to overturn this very terrible bad decision. Less than a year later, this decision has appeared on both sides of a case called, I believe it's Sony v. Cox. And what the gist of this lawsuit is very dangerous and very important. In Sony v. Cox, Sony is alleging that Cox Communications, the internet service provider, is vicariously liable for all torrenting and piracy that occur on its entire network, which is millions and millions of consumer broadband connections and internet connected homes throughout the entire United States. So they're basically saying that Cox has a legal obligation to them to police the entire internet for any possible infringement that may be impacting negatively their intellectual property. This is preposterous. This is dangerous, and hopefully they are going to lose. But it has ended up all the way in the Supreme Court. And what's very funny about them being in the Supreme Court is that both of them have favorably referenced Greer v. Moon in their case, in their defense. So they both say that Greer v. Moon supports them because it is such a terrible decision that you can look at it any which way and come to any number of conclusions. So we are filing what's called an amicus brief. An amicus brief simply means a friend of the court filing. And we are asking for clarification on the very good, bad, no good 10th Appellate Court decision. In particular, if the Supreme Court rules on Greer v. Moon and says that actually it was a very terrible decision, I instantly win my case again. So for good this time, because it went up to the Supreme Court. So technically, Cox Communications here might not only win a huge victory for internet speech and expression and fair use, but may inadvertently cut the Gordian knot that I've been waiting to get cut for a very, very long time. It's true. It is my fault. It's my fault. I did this. So this is filed both on behalf of myself and also the United States Internet Preservation Society as an amici curiae or something. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I can't pronounce Latin. But we are in support of petitioners. So we are supporting both of the petitioners and seeking clarification. Now, Hardin has, with the assistance of Nathan Lindes, who he offloads the Supreme Court writings to for some work, has gone over, this is the table of contents, they're not done putting this together. It will be filed by the end of business today. Very cool document. They're very, very, very specific rules in regards to how you can file something with the Supreme Court. So there is a literal monopoly for printing documents to the Supreme Court, and it's very expensive. So if you would like to support my internet endeavors in this capacity, you can go to shop.usibs.org, and that money would go to the 501c4. Oh, I didn't even mention USIPS is now officially a 501c4 in the eyes of the IRS. We're no longer simply a South Dakota nonprofit. We are a federally recognized 501c4. If you would like to become a member, it's $35 a year. You can go to shop.usips.org and get a membership, and that will help offset the expense of filing this with the Supreme Court. The general request that Hardin has put forward is, most generously, he would like the Supreme Court to basically cull contributory copyright infringement as a concept. His core argument is that contributory copyright infringement does not come about as a result of any legislation. It was basically invented by the court system in 1905 or 1908. And since then, it's gone through many changes just as the result of the courts changing their mind about certain things, expanding certain things, restricting certain things, reversing earlier decisions. And this has been going on for over 120 years now. Meanwhile, there's no actual legislation which exists that creates the tort known as contributory copyright infringement, which now Sony is using to try and deputize internet service providers against their own customers. So his most broad strokes request of the court in this ruling is that we simply do away with the ideas of contributory copyright infringement until it becomes an actual law that is passed by the Congress. His narrowest request of the court is that the concept of actual knowledge and the terms of contributory copyright infringement are further clarified. So it's rather short for a court filing. It's 40 pages, but as you can see, a lot of this is tables. And then the pages themselves are quite short, with citations being half of each page. So it's very easily understood, well referenced, and respectfully submitted on behalf of Joshua Moon and the United States Internet Preservation Society. Oh, there it is, right down. Counsel for Amicus Curiae, Joshua Moon, and United States Internet Preservation Society. Isn't that nice? What a nice font, chat. How dignified. How special. So, that would be nice. That would be the funniest possible way, as I said before, to end the Greer suit, is if the Supreme Court of the United States says, yeah, that's all bullshit. That would be really awesome. That would make me feel very special. Okay. And making me feel special is the most important thing. I do not have a Nick Fuentes segment this week. I didn't see anything interesting from him. Sorry to disappoint. I do have a segment on human rights. Civil rights as we know it is under attack, chat. And it's under attack in the most important of venues. And that is, of course, Evo and fighting games. But before I get there, it has happened that Evo is now owned by a Saudi government organization. There is a city in Saudi Arabia that the crown prince of the Saudi kingdom has poured money into. And that's why you see a lot of sporting events like, I think it was wrestling that was recently in Saudi Arabia. So they're trying to make these high-tech cities like a mirage in the desert that attracts foreign investment and creates a economy that is not dependent on fossil fuels, because both were trying to get off of fossil fuels, and it's just not a very good long-term strategy. So they're desperately trying to get away from that, and they're trying to attract tourism, and they're trying to go into high-tech industry, because the one thing that Saudi Arabia has a lot of is sunlight. So they're trying to harvest sunlight and become a Silicon Valley in the desert. And to promote their endeavors, they have bought Evo, the fighting game tournament, and that, of course, pisses off the people who play in Evo because they are trannies. Vosa says, wanted to go to Evo but didn't have the money, wanted to go to Evo but didn't want to travel. They're there during the current political climate. Now shit's bought up by Saudi money. I guess I'll never go then. This Troon says, he even had... What's funny is that he has the watermelon to support Palestine in his username, but he has an issue with Muslim theocratic governments for whatever reason. Evo could not have chosen a way to die faster. Unfortunately, the smelliest, most disgusting, biggest bum-ass, skid-mark boxers, misogynist loser is celebrating this at the moment. Now, I thought he was talking about Indians at first, but I guess not. LBE Savant Trans Flag says, looks like I'll never get to go to Evo. Fuck the House of Saud, man. You know, there's a... you've heard how many crown princes there are in Saudi Arabia. I looked it up once. There's like 100. But part of the reason why is that the guy who actually united the Saudi Arabian kingdoms into the one House of Saud, he had 80 different wives, and he had multiple children with each. And what he would do is when he was conquering other tribes, sometimes he would just kidnap and forcefully marry the wives and then rape them to have kids and then set them aside so that he could only have 3 wives at a time. But nothing under his religion prevents him from divorcing. So he would just go around doing that until he had 80 of these, and then he had hundreds of kids. And that is the current ruling family of Saudi Arabia. So that's what's going on with Evo. However, more interesting is what's going on with Smash. Smash has lost a lawsuit. In particular, one of the tournaments was sued for civil rights violations, and I'll let Technicals explain. Technicals is quickly becoming my favorite person of color in the internet, but in specifically Smash-related drama. I'm not entirely sure why. Well, I am actually. I am sure why. I'll play this up until the sponsor block segment. He kind of goes over the details of it, and it's pretty funny.
Anyways, back to the topic of today's video. The esports organization Luminosity was the main party named in the original lawsuit, but it's also coincidentally being sold off now to Vertical Studios. But to be honest, I don't know how much the lawsuit factored into that, because I saw a few people saying that those things were related, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. But after my last video got posted in the Times of Israel, I had a revelation, more of an epiphany, if you will. Ask yourself, what do Smash players hate more than anything? And you can't say showers. That's right, Israel. It was so obvious. I mean, all this time I've been fighting them with facts and logic, when I should have been fighting them with Jewish lawyers. Because let me tell you, they get shit done. Since a lot of you were bitching the last time I covered this, I'd like to reiterate that this is about video games and the American legal system. But if that's too complicated, let me put it like this. If I was teleported to 1940s Germany and someone knocked on my door looking for Smash tournament organizers, I would hand them an illustrated diagram with their daily routines and some Febreze for their truck. Anyone that stops people from playing a child's video game for a stupid reason is literally worse than Hitler. Anyways, if you don't know the civil rights case
That's it. Wo ist die Smash-Spieler? Here you go, officer. Here's the directions to his house. I can't... See, look, if Technicals can post that on YouTube, then I guess I can too. I have no excuse, right? So, I thought that was very funny. Apparently, the resolution is that all of the tournaments being sued by him have issued apologies and have unbanned him from the tournament. Because apparently, just to sum it up, what happened really quick is that the guy who sued had posted something condemning the support of Hamas, who there was a claim that Hamas had killed civilians, and one of the watermelon usernames that were also Smash players were celebrating the fact that Hamas had killed civilians. And the Jewish guy, who was also Israeli, condemned this, and so they banned him for supporting Israel, literally, in from their tournament game, which is a violation of the Civil Rights Act. They allege because exhibitions and anything and hotels are places where you cannot discriminate based off race, religion, creed, or national origin. And as it turns out, their fighting game tournament, probably they didn't go to trial, but it probably would count as an exhibition, and it was taking place in a hotel anyways. So their arguments were that they they had to obey by the Civil Rights Act, which is, by the way, not an act you want to get sued under. It is one of those acts that has a very rare fee shifting provision. So when Mr. Sheckelstein, if he prevails on any of his claims against you, he actually gets to claim 100, up to 100% of his attorney's fees from you, which I imagine could be quite high for a Jewish attorney based out of New York City. Meanwhile, if you defend against such a claim and win, you don't get anything from Mr. Sheckelstein. So it's basically, if you're a Jewish guy, you're in New York City, and you hear that a good Israeli boy was banned from his video game tournament for supporting Israel, you have literally no reason not to support him for free. Because even if you support him for free, you get to bill your costs at a reasonable rate towards the opposing party if you prevail with one of these fee shifting provisions. So even if you're undercharging or not charging your client at all in these cases, you still get to bill for reasonable hours if you prevail. So really, really not a favorable tort to defend against if you are Evo or whatever. It wasn't Evo, it was some other bullshit. So that's the situation in Smash. It just gets worse and worse for them. It's I don't know why. I think I never cared about Smash at all as a thing until poor Hacks. I remember watching Hacks's 3 hour long video about how Leffen is a Shinigami or whatever the fuck, literally Light Yagama from Death Note. And I remember I watched this entire 3 hour long video expose about how he's Dark Triad, and I felt bad for him because it really did feel like people were fucking with him. And ever since then, I've now gotten a little bit of Smash stuck in my foot, a little Smash splinter. And Technicals is the champion of Hacks. He represents the Kiwi perspective in a roundabout way. So I like his videos. Next, this is as I said before in my last stream, I'm doing a little vignette of all the topics I usually cover, about the most YouTube safe topics to talk about for the first hour or so of my stream, that I can tease people to come over to the scary alt tech platforms. So I'd like to shit on somebody I don't usually shit on because I like him. Unironically, he's one of the few people in the world who will ever credit the Kiwi Farms, but being a friend of the Kiwi Farms is small comfort, because if anything, it tends to draw more criticism onto you. And with Hambly, unfortunately, he has been up to dirty deeds. Okay, so I have to condemn him. This is very sad. He was on stream, right? Because he's a streamer, the quartering. I always call him Hambly because that's how I don't know him as the quartering. I just know him as Jeremy Hambly. But he was streaming with what appears to be an OnlyFans prostitute. I think that's what she looks like. I know, don't judge a book by a cover, but if I had to guess, I would probably win. So he was streaming and he made a little oopsie doodle. Let's check it out.
For me, but I'm trying like rice. I'm gonna try eating rice and like avocado.
You have to get one of those sweet kawaii rice cookers.
Let's do an instant replay in that search history there. Let's see. Where's the first one? Type in W. It shows up underneath it, but who do you schedule a RMC semen analysis with? And I guess that's the other one. I remember he apparently had in his It's not in this, but I remember hearing that he had also had Gooner stuff in his search history. Now, what's really sad about this, I wonder if this is on the next tab. Oh, it's in this. He has repeatedly made fun of women for being empty egg cartons, right? So he's quick to come up with empty egg cartons. And I want to say that publicly on stream when anyone presses him on why he doesn't have kids despite having ample funds and being over the hill, being in his 30s, why he hasn't reproduced yet. And his response to this would always be to shift blame onto his wife, from my understanding, and say that my wife has difficulty conceiving. And it seems like, based off the search history, that it may actually be his problem. And he's just been blaming his wife, which is extremely nasty to do. And unfortunately for him, it's quite a lot of shit to eat if you've been making empty egg carton jokes on the internet for the last however many years and you're having to look up semen analysis because apparently you goon so much that you can't impregnate your wife. By the way, porn consumption is directly linked to infertility and fertility issues. That is not a speculation, that is actual reality. If you ever want to see really depressing people, by the way, go look on I think they have a thread on the Kiwi Farms. They any of the trying to conceive subreddits on Reddit, you will see some of the most pathetic posts you've ever seen in your entire life. It's like women saying like, my husband masturbates to porn but can't get it up for me. We're trying to conceive. And people talking about how they literally jack off in the bathroom into cups and then will use a turkey baster to artificially inseminate themselves in the back seat of a car. Like they'll run down from the office job into the parking garage, hand off the cup of semen, and then she'll take a turkey baster and try to artificially inseminate herself when she's ovulating. So it's like that, you know. It's pretty fucking dire down there in the Reddit dungeons. The people of Reddit are special. They're very special. I'm not making that up, by the way. I have actually seen these posts, and they're crazy. The other thing that he did is that he posted this a while ago. Hambly, much to my chagrin, to my frustration, is somebody who loves to show off his extravagant wealth. Here is my beautiful kitchen with my marble countertops. Here is my $10,000 saltwater aquarium, with custom cabinetry to build it into the central floor plan of my living space, filled with exotic aquatic fish that cost $2,000. I also have a collection. He has like a giant collection of old Rolex watches that each $70,000. Which Rolex suits me today for my internet podcast? Well, this 1960s $70,000 Rolex. I think this one suits my sweatshirt and shorts quite well. And then he gets on stream and says, "Guys, I need you to subscribe. I need 5,000 monthly subscribers. Otherwise, I'm going to have to fire my reporters." And it's like, well, you know, if you have a private jet, maybe you could sell that. If you have 20 different Rolex watches of 70,000 a piece, maybe you could sell that to try and make ends meet. But, you know, you could stop taking Ozempic and diet naturally if you are trying to lose weight, because Ozempic is like $2,000 a month. That kind of stuff. Those are the kind of things you can cut first from your budget if you're trying to save money. But no, apparently not. So then he admits on stream that this aquatic tank is empty. I'll play this clip.
Yeah. It's not like when you lose your freshwater fish. Like, I was just watching $2,000 floating around in the water, you know?
That's fucked
Are you
up.
gonna call your fish?
That you have these pets, you have these animals in your house, and you're like, oh, they're all dead due to my negligence and ineptitude. That's a lot of money that went away. Like, bro, they're like exotic pets. Do you have names? Are you not sad that you killed them?
Fish guy gets a new coral, etc.
I would call my fish guy because I said the fish don't look good like a week ago. And then he had somebody leave, and then he's been busy, and I've tried to be like, brother, I understand you've been busy, but like I said my fish don't look good for like the last week, and you haven't come, and now 3 of them are dead, and some of them are like $400 each. And
Since we're live, by the way.
I know we're
Just a
live.
heads up.
Yeah, that's all right. I wasn't saying anything.
Luke is like warning him, like, bro, you're constantly talking about how broke you are, and then you're complaining about how your fish are dying, and you only see them as like dollar signs rising to the top of the fish tank. Like, you might want to like shut the fuck up. He's like, shut up, Luke. Fuck you.
Thing that was no big deal.
I think the audience likes to know what's going on with these fish, especially if they're $400. That's an expensive hobby.
Well, saltwater fish are very expensive. And,
what are you, Dr. Fauci, taking out these fish? You're what is this?
Well, I mean, I have not. I was looking for some sort of vaccine to give them because they didn't look good, but they, he said, well, you just got to hope they basically, he went with the holistic approach, feed them this, feed them that, hope they pull through, and just looks like my powder brown tang did not pull through, and so that's another $200 on the drain.
You need an mRNA gene-specific intervention that is done in China in order to help progress your fish's longevity and health towards being genetically altered to deal with the horrendous conditions you put them under.
Yeah, I mean, this is my fault. Absolutely. I guess we should probably acknowledge that there's 20,000 people already waiting for us to get going.
I guess you realize that the chat was not sympathetic to his fish story. People do get very angry when you talk about killing your pets, as it turns out on the internet. Why is my kick not showing up? There we go. All right. Not a number of viewers waiting. Just wonderful. Just wonderful how these programs work. Okay. So, I imagine there's quite a few things that are sadder, but this is high up on the list. You're in this big McMansion surrounded by all this opulent wealth in the form of furniture and fixings for your house. But are there the pitter-patter of baby feet? Are there screeching noises filling your house with liveliness? Is there a fish tank, perhaps, filled with fish? Oh, no. It's simply empty milk carton, empty aquarium. Very tragic. Very depressing, actually, like genuinely depressing. So consider this a sign, quartering. It's time to wisen up and stop trying to replace family building with pornography and dead fish. It's not the future you want. It's bad idea. What is this? Oh, he wants to do another project. Okay. Is he going to grow oranges inside his house?
We have blood orange trees. We have kumquat trees.
I mean, this guy grows
My
them in the
neighbor.
snow.
My neighbor in Florida, when I was a little kid, he had a kumquat tree in his front yard, and they would come in naturally every year, and we would eat like an entire basket of kumquats because you could just pick them right off the tree and munch on them.
Oh, there's a company that sells these too, but they don't pay me money, so I don't want to shout them out. But
wow,
I looked at buying their product. It's like basically something you build, and
wow. That's so avaricious. I'm not even going to talk about you unless we can get some sort of kumquat sponsorship going on my streams. You got to sponsor the quartering. Like, you might be able to actually build a relationship with the company. If you said, like, oh, I'm not sponsored by them, but I use this holster or whatever for my concealed carry, and I like it a lot. That's how you, like, form bridges and shit. You don't just, like, immediately make it obvious that you're fucking a sellout.
it looks more like an official greenhouse. It's like more of an official greenhouse. It doesn't look like ghetto trash, but it basically has the same outcome.
That's always
So if you have a spot in your yard where you can just have something that kind of looks ugly, it's not that big a deal. But if you live in a city lot or something like that, you kind of you can't just have like freaking a tarp city in your backyard. Then you want to, use this other company. I'll share them if I go with them. They sent me their pricing. It was not as cheap as I had hoped.
I don't know, man. Like, it seems like you have a lot of hobbies. You got watch collecting, you got aviation, you got that toy channel. Didn't PPP find out that the Quartering has like a man-child channel where he like reviews RC cars and shit? You have like a saltwater aquarium tank, and then you have like you want to build like a kumquat like glass house garden in your backyard so you can grow tropical vegetation. Why not? You know what you could do? You could sell your Mick mansion, sell your planes, sell your Rolex, and then if you want to grow all these tropical things and have tropical fish, you can move to Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. It's a tax haven because it's of its status as a possession as opposed to a state. You can move to Puerto Rico, probably buy land there pretty cheap, and then you can grow all the fucking kumquats you want. You gotta pick something. You can't do everything all the time. It's like he gets bored and then he's just like, well, I want to do something new. And then he goes into kumquat farming. And then, of course, instead of just like growing plants inside your house for a little while or on your balcony and sharing it with pigeons to see if you actually have aptitude or any kind of taste for gardening, he just immediately wants to build like a $30,000 what do they call it? Those big greenhouses. They're called like a tube, like a plex tube or something. And it's like, well, you should probably like test to see if you actually have any interest in this before you build constructions on your house. A Josh Moon move right there. It's true. I suffer from this as well. I have a jack of all trades, master of none interest in a bunch of different stuff. But I am trying to commit myself more to my hobbies. It's not in the board form. It's like a thing. No, not a greenhouse, not an earth ship. Polytunnel. Risty is a real farmer gardener. He knows what a polytunnel is. It's a thing. The USDA will even pay you to put up polytunnels on your property. And they're not taxed. They're not considered. Generally, depending on where you live, like they have tax advantages too. So, just do that. I feel bad for making fun of Hambly because he's been nice, but at the same time, bro, it's like you're very clearly not happy with your current living situation. And if you're not happy with your current living situation, planes and Rolex watches and marble cabinets and saltwater fish and kumquats and polytunnels are not gonna like improve that. There's something missing, brother. While I do not have a Nick Fuentes segment, I do have a little bit to say about Nick Rekieta. Not too much. Just that he looks absolutely fucking flaming in this. For whatever reason, he wanted to show up to E-court. He was having an E-trial against Aaron Imholt, his arch nemesis. Aaron had been accusing him of harassment, and so he decided that the way he would present himself to the E judge is looking like a homosexual straight out of Miami Vice. And it's an interesting choice. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. It seems like a bad idea. Apparently, throughout the entire thing, he was sitting there smug, disinterested, looking gay. And then every time Aaron brought up the fact that Rekieta would threaten to kill him, or was just like verbally abusive towards him and his family in general, he would start like smirking to himself, which is not really how you want to present yourself. If I had to show up to trial, I would literally visit a tailor or like a dresser or something, and I would be like, I need to look as sympathetic and trustworthy as possible. What color do I wear? What tie do I wear? What glasses do I want to look as sympathetic and trustworthy so that when people look at me, they don't say, oh, this guy is a smug, condescending dickhead. This guy poses a threat. This guy is an asshole. I would want to look like a little cherub with a pure soul. But for some reason, Nick Rekieta, genius, 10 million IQ. It's just like, yeah, I want to look like a douchebag. I want to look like this trial is inconveniencing me in my cocaine empire dealings. So he showed up. This was the case where I was alerted last week that he had been evicted, thrown out of his own internet conference. What had happened is, and I think I was correct, is that he was recording himself to Zoom by using OBS's virtual camera. And when he changed his camera for whatever reason, it just showed the OBS logo in the the Zoom conference. The clerk at court who was managing the Zoom conference saw the OBS logo, knew that it was a recording software, and booted him for potentially violating the rules of the court. During the court, by the way, because you're not supposed to record the court, but obviously people did. During the court, Nick was actually giving out live Twitter commentary. This was one of the deleted posts that was archived by people on Twitter and on the forum. Scarebro says one of Rekieta Law's deleted tweets he made during the hearing. Now, I got to give it up to him. It's a funny tweet. Rekieta says, there are 75 people watching the Zoom hearing. I don't know if he remembers doing streams that big. Epic own. Really funny joke. I hope it doesn't come to bite him in the ass. I hope it's worth it if it does come to bite him in the ass. Because Rekieta was posted after the hearing, after he was kicked out. I have been ordered not to comment on pending litigation. Peace, y'all. So the outcome of the trial that he had was that the judge told him no more fucking sassy social media posts because you've been posting during this conference making fun of Aaron as he says that you've been harassing him. So apparently the gay Coke Lord aesthetic did not pay the dividends he perhaps was hoping for. Can't say I'm surprised. I've said this before, but when it comes to the justice system, like, it can really inconvenience you. So you don't get to play silly internet games with the justice system because they can make themselves extraordinarily disproportionately expensive, time consuming, and life ruining. So just show a little bit of humility. You don't have to actually respect the proceedings, but you have to make certain people think that you do. Otherwise, it's not going to help you. Now this is, I have to be careful with this because we're on YouTube, but I wanted to include this in the YouTube commentary because if you're new to this, God forbid, one of the things I comment a lot about are transgender issues. In fact, that's one of the main things that gets me in trouble these days. But Graham Lynham, who is an Irish national, was arrested by UK officials at the airport as he touched down. Now, Graham is not British. He's not North Ireland. He is Republic of Ireland. So a Republic of Ireland national is currently being held in the United Kingdom for the offense of hate tweets. I think he has a copy of the tweets down here that I'll read. By the way, he is not allowed to post on Twitter as a condition of his bail. So he posted this to Substack. His Substack is grahamlinehan.substack.com. Graham is interesting because during the dark days before Ellen bought Twitter, when we were on kiwifarms.cc, he also ran his own Fediverse instance. And he was a contributor to a code project that was adjacent to the Kiwi Farms. So we've actually had a couple of encounters with him. He's a strange guy. He's not conservative, I don't think. I think he's like super liberal, but not pro-trans. So as a result, a lot of the Fediverse troons hated him. Graham says, if a trans-identified male is in a female-only space, he is committing a violent abusive act. Make a scene, call the cops, and if all else fails, punch him in the balls. And Graham says, a photo you can smell, and it's a picture of a bunch of troons protesting. And one more, I hate them, misogynists and homophobes, fuck them, referring to transgenders, as it is a popular item in the leftist turf sphere to refer to transgenders as misogynists and homophobes, because very frequently they see gay men as competition for them. They see straight men as competition for them, and they hate women. Generally speaking, they hate women because a lot of them, the ones that are autogenophiles, the core of their sexual fetish is that they hate women. And they also have a humiliation kink. And there is nothing worse to them than being a woman. So they dress up in this feminizing attire, not because they're hoping to pass, but because being a woman is the worst thing they could possibly think of. And that's why a lot of women call them misogynists. So these got him in the slammer, in the paddy wagon, if you prefer. That's a good one, in the paddy wagon. And so he will have to wait that out. I believe that J.K. Rowling is on the case. J.K. Rowling is firmly in his turf sphere, and so she's tweeted out a message in support of him saying, what the fuck has the UK become? This is totalitarianism, utterly deplorable. And Wikipedia troons are circling the wagons to try and paint him out as a heckin' fascist. Personal views in September 2025, Thompson expressed support on social media platform X for Graham Lynham, an Irish comedian who had faced legal repercussions after suggesting on X that trans women should be assaulted in restrooms. And then he had to show up for a trial. This is a different trial. He's facing a harassment case in the UK as well because of troons coming after him for direct messages. And while there, he wore a little sandwich board. Okay, I didn't know the name for it, but John Andrews Stand did. A sandwich board, which was in the trans pride flag colors, saying, "There's no such thing as a transgender child, and keep men out of women's sports." Is this real? The font is so basic that it looks like something you could just Photoshop in real quick. Let me check the pixels real quick, chat. I'm an expert in these things. Assuming that they went to load. The Kiwi Farms was DDoSed last weekend, so I had to crank all the security stuff back up to maximum, and that slows down image loading and stuff. I think that's real. The pixels look real to me, chat. Looks like a real thing. So there you go. So way to go. He's very clearly like a weird, goofy guy, but he's sticking to his principles, chat. He's sticking to his principles. And that's it for Graham. I support him. I don't have much hope for the UK. I was actually on a podcast, and I guess I should shout this out. But the good old boys with a Z podcast reached out to me and asked if they wanted to do an interview, and I said sure. So I spoke to them for about 2 hours. I talked about the usual gambit of things that I am most concerned with. Apparently, there's quite a few people who listen to this podcast that are aware of them. So if you are a fan of the good old boys, go ahead and listen to that episode. It's on Patreon. My understanding is that it's free to listen to on Patreon. He also would like me to talk to, what's his name? If you have input on this, you can always email me, of course, or post in the Man at the Internet thread. But he would like me to speak to his friend, Dr. Jay Burden, who hosts a podcast called The Jay Burden Show, appropriately. So I suppose I might speak with him. I don't see a reason not to. I kind of want to reach out and speak to more people. Bog Beef, yeah, that's his name. Not this guy, but I'll try to speak up with more people. I've been trying to open up and be a little bit more of a social butterfly because there are many things that I'm hoping to achieve these days. It's a Friday. It is a Friday. Jay Burden is great. Bram Doe seems to be in the circle. He knows these people. He's a fan. I trust Bram Doe. Jay Burden Show is very good. He's a great host. Awesome. Okay, great. I like it when my audience doesn't shit on people when I say I might be on their podcast. That's a change of pace for once. Podcasters are the weakest race. Look, the podcast race is all the race. The podcast race, we don't have a home. And we have to work with what we have. Okay. I am very good at making enemies. That's true. One little thing before I shut off the YouTube stream to kind of indicate where we're heading with this, because I do want to rant and rave for a little bit. Jobs.now, which I've advertised before, which is a listing for hidden job positions that are supposed to be for H-1B applicants hoping to stay in the U.S. permanently. So what they do, just to recap, a lot of these tech companies, they want to keep their H-1B employees permanently for various reasons, but predominantly there seems to be a lot of nepotism at the higher end of Silicon Valley. And so the employer might be a legitimate immigrant from India. They want to keep their Indian talent within the United States. And to keep an H-1B employee permanently, they have to apply for an H-1B perm. And to do that, they have to demonstrate that there are no viable applicants for a position. And so the way that they both satisfy the requirements of the Department of Labor and also show that there are no applicants for their for their position is they tuck these job listings away in the break room of the tech building, and they put them in small newspapers with low circulation counts, so they can say we put them in the newspapers and we put them on the break room. And then of course the game they're playing is that they advertise in areas they know there are no candidates living. Like you're not going to find like many programmers reading the newspaper of some city in Wyoming. And the break rooms are funny because they often put the jobs in break rooms that don't have that workforce that might want to move over. And then also a lot of their employees are remote workers anyways. So they can satisfy the DOL by saying, look, we put them in the break room. Nobody wanted to move to this position from within the company either. But then, of course, all the employees work remotely. And the break room they put it in is for the janitor. So that's what they're doing. Jobs.now is this great thing. The guys that are running it are really sharp, and they're working really hard to find more and more listings. They've opened up areas that they're searching in to try and get job postings for Elon Musk companies like SpaceX. And they're finding all sorts of crazy stuff. And of course, when you crack a few eggs, you make some enemies, right? So here's a DMCA that Jobs.now has received from Instacart, which is a tech company for groceries, I believe. And they listed a few perm secret listings. This got posted on Jobs.now. And then they had to lament, oh, we've received 140 applications for this job. There's no way we can tell the Department of Labor that we didn't get any applicants. Sorry, you're going to have to go back home to India. And then for whatever reason, the employers find this extremely frustrating, extremely angering. How dare Americans want American positions? And so, as censors always do, they first and foremost employ the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and its absolutely fucking retarded, broken takedown notice system to inform the host for Jobs.now that they are DMCAing their own job listings. You would think they would really, really want those job listings because they're such important positions to get seen by as many eyes as possible. Unfortunately, Instacart disagrees with that and thinks that it's their intellectual property. Now, obviously, what Jobs.now does is political activism. And in the US, political activism is the most protected form of speech. You can get away with a lot of copyright infringement if you're trying to elect a candidate or achieve a social good. So it is obvious fair use, but because it went to their host, they don't have a choice in the matter. The host is forcing them to take down Instacart listings moving forward. So this tactic will be re-employed by other Silicon Valley shitholes to try and censor Americans, trying to help Americans get jobs. So another wonderful demonstration that the DMCA needs to be completely repealed. Here's what the DMCA says. To whom it may concern, we hereby notify you on behalf of Instacart and its affiliated companies, collectively Instacart, that the following URL, which is a job listing for an associate market strategy planning officer, says, which you are hosting contains content which infringes on the intellectual property rights, goodwill, and reputation of Instacart, but including, but not limited to, the following trademarks Instacart owned by Instacart, parentheses, Instacart. Such unauthorized use of the infringing content at the URL infringes on the intellectual property rights, goodwill, and reputation of Instacart and causes consumer confusion as to whether the infringing content is authorized, endorsed, or sponsored by Instacart when, in fact, it is not. Instacart has an obligation to the public to police against infringing website content, which may cause consumer marketplace confusion. One word, I guess they're German. Such actions dilute Instacart's Instacart trademark, harm its associated goodwill, and constitute, inter alia, a misappropriation and violation of the rights of Instacart. This damage to its business entities, Instacart, they're just like the shit encrusted hands that typed this up is literally just accidentally pasting the word Instacart. Like when I say Instacart, I'm not inserting it to be funny. That's how it's written. This damage to its business entities, Instacart, to various forms of relief, including monetary compensation. We represent that the information in this notice is true and correct, and that we are authorized to act on behalf of Instacart as owner of the Instacart 4903628 US. So there you go. It is It's so fucking nasty, man. That they just consider themselves you're better, and they don't believe that jobs made for Americans should go to Americans. They believe it should go to their friends. So, I have offered, in my capacity as the chairman of the United States Internet Preservation Society, all of my services, and I've tried to offer to help them find legal representation as well. And I hope they fight the good fight, because they're doing one of the most important things that I've seen anybody come up with in a long time. Most people, they just complain on the internet. I'm guilty as fuck for being useless and just complaining on the internet. And for some people, that's the best you can do. But some people go above and beyond and actually find new, innovative, purposeful, helpful ways, not just helping like a movement or raising awareness, but actually like changing people's lives by giving them work opportunities they wouldn't get otherwise. So how do we prosecute these people? So if you are I've received DMs from people who are working in tech companies, and they are aware of this. I've said this before, but if you report H-1B abuse to the Department of Labor, that helps. But then also keep in mind that you don't have to do this in secret. The Department of Labor, actually, you can report them to the USCIS as well, but the Department of Labor also offers whistleblower protections to people who are reporting H-1B abuse. So if they fire you, make sure they know. Like, you can literally tell them. You can report the abuse and then tell them that you've notified the USCIS and Department of Labor of H-1B visa abuse, and then record all that correspondence. And if they fire you, that is an offense. That's called retaliation, and you have a right to sue, and you can notify the government again that you've been retaliated against. And that's it. And it would cost them way more money to deal with that kind of problems. So that's one way. It is the yeah, it is. It's bad. And one other thing, and I mean this dead serious, okay? In Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy is running unopposed for the gubernatorial race for the GOP. He has already received nominations from the GOP, from Donald Trump, and I desperately want to make it so that Vivek Ramaswamy is not governor of Ohio. And there's only one person who has indicated that he would potentially run against Vivek Ramaswamy for the governor's position in Ohio, and that is Jim Tressel, this guy right here, Jim Tressel. He is currently the lieutenant governor of Ohio, if I remember correctly, and he has not announced his campaign yet, but if you're Ohioan, you need to like write this guy and say, please God, run for office. He's not even announced his run for office. In the last poll they did for governor of Ohio, he got 14% versus Ramaswamy's like 70% from GOP voters. So he's not even announced. He's done no campaigning. And just from Vivek being the only option, 14% of respondents are still supporting him. So he is a football coach. He's the guy, someone said he was OSU or something. He's a look, this guy's American as fuck is what I'm trying to say. And he needs to win. So if you're in Ohio and you really don't like Vivek and you want to help, you gotta get this guy on board. I will fucking drive from Florida to Ohio with posters in hand. I will go through the interstate system of Ohio, stop at every gas station, go to the men's area, and tape up posters for this guy in the back room. Number one, saying that we got to vote for him, and number two, posting like tweets from the Department of Homeland Security saying like we're going to deport all the Indians. And I'm going to help. Okay. I will help the best way that I can. This doesn't look like Jim Tressel. Am I wrong? Oh, that would be really, really embarrassing. Hold up. Jim Tressel, Ohio. No, I'm right. Oh man, you really spooked me. Yeah, he's the lieutenant governor of Ohio, and he is a retired college football coach. I'm telling you, man, this is the guy. This is your all-American boy who deserves to be governor of Ohio. and he will be the first candidate for any political office that I formally nominate as or endorse as Yusuf's. Okay. So it's Jim, you're joking. Okay. Ohio meme. Okay, yeah. Listen, I think it's possible. Because if you don't remember, let me find these tweets real quick. Let's see. Ramaswamy Christmas Eve sleepover tweets. This guy cannot be in a position of power. Okay, these are the tweets. These are messages from Vivek Ramaswamy on Christmas Eve of 2024. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long, at least since the 90s. That doesn't start in college, it starts young. He continues, a culture that venerates Corey from Bory Meets World and Zack and Slater over Screech and Saved by the Bell or Stefan over Stephen Urkel and Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. This statement right here is so fucking retarded and completely distant from like the concerns of the average person living in Ohio that it should immediately disqualify him. This is a post that you would read on Reddit. This is not a statement from the future governor of Ohio. Fact, I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much their kids could watch TV shows precisely because they promoted mediocrity, and their kids went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chillin', more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall. Most normal parents look skeptically at those kinds of parents. More normal American kids view those kinds of kids with scorn. If you grow up aspiring to normalcy, normalcy is what you will achieve. Now close your eyes and visualize which families you knew in the 90s or even now who raised their kids according to one model versus the other. Be brutally honest. Normalcy doesn't cut it in hyper-competitive global market for technical talent, and if we pretend like it does, we'll have our asses handed to us by China. So Americans, you watch too much fucking Friends, you have too many sleepovers, and you don't force your children to do piano and tutor math as hard as you should. And for that reason, China is on the up and up, and only the best and brightest Indian talent from the Bharat nation can possibly save you. This entire fucking thing is like, I hate middle Americans. I hate Ohioans. And if it was true, if what he was saying was true, why is India not a superpower? It's 2025 now. It's 5 years overdue. Why wasn't this formula for success successfully employed in the nation that he comes from? Why did Vivek come over and his parents swindle people out of money by buying up a medical company and defrauding investors? Why did that happen here in the U.S. instead of India? So fuck him. And this guy, what's funny is that Jim Tressel being a college football coach, he's like the exact person that this guy is talking about. This is mediocrity, being interested in sports ball. Cringe. They should be doing math tutoring instead of extracurricular stuff that involves sports. By the way, I'm going to take off my shoes and eat shit curry with my fucking hands. Nom, 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 nom. Excellence. Supreme excellence. So I'm telling you, I beg of you, if you're fucking from Ohio, today, contact your lieutenant governor, Jim Tressel, and tell that motherfucker to run. Write the Ohio GOP and say, I'm not fucking voting for Vivek. I'm not going to vote at all if it's between Vivek and that Jewish woman that the Democrats are running. You got to get active. Got to get angry. If you want to preserve your reruns of Friends and Saved by the Bell, then you have to get active. And I will help you. If he runs, I will help you, Chad. I promise you. It should have been studying the blade. Yeah, exactly right. So that's my Vivek route. I have more to say about these related topics, but I cannot do so on YouTube. So can I put like a QR code? Maybe that'll help you guys. QR code generator. Create your free QR code. I do want to do that. Here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. You ready? Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Download JPEG. I don't want to sign up for free. What? Oh, it's making me sign up for free, chat. I don't want to do that. Here you go, YouTube. Here's your shot. You just got to scan that QR code, and away you go. That's right. You don't have to be from Ohio to advocate for them, but if you are an Ohioan and you intend to vote, your opinion matters the most in this. I can go up there and I can post my posters up in the bathroom stalls as I intend to, but I can't vote for them, so my opinion means less. All right. So, sorry, YouTube, but unfortunately, Neil Mahan is protective of his people, and the YouTube hamster has to go away. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye. I say, and then I try to find how to do that. Oh, there it is. Bye-bye. All right. Let me make sure that YouTube is off before I begin saying my dangerous things, my dirty thoughts that can't air on the pristine platform known as YouTube.com. All right, fuck Jeets is my message to you. I have more to say on this issue. I would love to share with you. So this is what really got me fiery this week. The Lunduk Journal posted this. I had talked about this before, but the decision just came down. The United States of America had sued Google for being a monopoly because they are a monopoly. They have a AdSense program that you can't get away from. You have a operating system. You have a multiple operating systems. You have both Chromebooks and also phone operating systems that come installed with Google Chrome, their own browser, that default to google.com as their default search engine. All of this information is fed into Google AdSense, which just so happens to be the #1 ad platform in the entire world, the exclusive ad platform of YouTube.com, which is the only platform you can integrate into if you want to get money as a creator on YouTube. So basically, if you are fully embedded into the Google system, you effectively work in a company town. Your every move is tracked by Google. That information is used to sell you shit you don't fucking need on the only platform that has the majority of the world's media, which is YouTube.com. So it's truly insidious. It is the biggest monopoly that has ever existed. The size of Google is larger than the East India Tea Company. And perhaps that is the joke that they're playing at, because Google's CEO is Indian. The chief of the Chrome product is Indian. The owner of YouTube is Indian. The chief of AdSense product is Indian. The chief of the Google product was Indian until he got fired because Google search is now so bad that it's basically unusable, and I can just use Bing these days. But it was Indian, and there was a big article I remember sharing about how he was such shit. So it is a monopoly, and the DOJ, after the Google was found guilty of being a monopoly, the DOJ recommended some trust-busting things that they could do to make the playing field more free in Google's iron-fisted rule over the internet. And it came down to the judge, and the judge says, you know what? None of these suggestions apply. Google is too big to fail. We will be forcing Google to implement none of them. So while we acknowledge that this is a monopoly, while we acknowledge it has anti-competitive practices that harm the American public, they're just too big to do anything about. So we're not going to do anything. And the kicker, chat, the judge is Indian. So Google is an Indian company controlled entirely by Indians. Every one of their most important products has an Indian at the head. And when they go to federal court and get slapped by the DOJ for being monopoly, which they're found guilty of being, the Indian judge says, actually, my good sir, nothing is required of you at all. Have a great day. Carry on. So this is the #1 reason why it is profoundly important that Vivek and other Indians do not achieve any political success anywhere in the United States. The tech companies like Google are the current stewards of the First Amendment in this country. If you want to speak on the internet and you want to be heard, you have to do it on Twitter, you have to do it on YouTube, and you have to do it on Facebook, which also owns Instagram, and you have to do it on TikTok. And these few companies control the overwhelming majority of all things that all Americans will see and hear on their day-to-day basis. And it is extraordinarily important then that the minds behind moderating these platforms are American and who have at least been poached in American values and understand American exceptionalism. And Vivek Ramaswamy is the exact opposite of that. He's the first generation immigrant from a shithole by scammers, and he considers the Americans in his presence to be inferiors who spend all their time doing sleepovers and not enough math and playing sports ball instead of math tutoring. And it's his job to replace American mediocrity with Bharat supremacy. And that is what we're seeing. The rot in technology is the direct consequence of the stewards of freedom of expression being replaced by people who are not American and who actually have a negative opinion of Americanism. And it's crucial that this change immediately. It is not only an immediate urgency, because they actually do just want to fucking kill you and replace you and take your money and plunder your country and plunder your country in a way that they thought the British plundered India, which in their lore and their mythology is the most brutal oppression in human history. So that's what they're planning to do. And they make it very obvious that that's what they want to do. And they build statues to demons. It's like even the Jews. There's a I don't know if you would call it a sermon. I don't know if that applies to rabbis. But there's a rabbi that I was linked to by a Jewish Russian friend. And in this, the rabbi was like, Jew, if you find success, don't ever let the goy know. Never let goyim know that you have a lot of money. Don't buy the fancy car. Don't buy the big house. Always present modestly to the goyim. Because when the goyim might tolerate you, they might even befriend you to try and get money from you. But if hard times ever come, they will look at the wealthy Jew and they will say, that Jew should not be wealthy. And that is when the bad times come. That is exactly what his side. I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is a sermon or whatever. The Jews have learned this over time, that this is the appropriate way to live. And the Indians never have. So the Indians are extremely happy to let you know that they don't think much of you, that they're happy to take your money, to take your jobs, to flaunt extravagant wealth that they've earned by inuring cash through their tech companies that they now have a total control over. And they think it's funny. So this is a very easy way to get the ball going on mass deportations and mass denaturalizations. And the fact is, they stink. When I told this story before, but when I first moved back to the U.S., there was a week or two where I was in like really small housing, and if the neighbor opened his door, the smell of curry would hit me so hard I could not have the windows open anymore. And the neighbor next to me was also like 8 Indians to 2 bedrooms, and when they cooked, even though there was I thought the AC system was connected overhead because there's no way, but it just permeates through the walls. So when I first moved back, the first thing I had to do was live in, I always keep the windows open. I love keeping the windows open and having a fresh breeze. So for the last however many years I've been overseas, no AC, windows open, nice draft coming through, keeping everything cool and fresh. First thing I had to do moving back to the U.S. was close the windows and buy air filters off Amazon so that I could breathe, so that I could sleep, because I had like sleep apnea from the stank of the Indians. And you don't have this problem with Jews, but you do it with Indians. And that's the kind of thing that even if you're a 70 IQ Mongoloid and you dig ditches for a living, you understand, like, these people fucking stink. So hammer it as hard as possible. The opening is there. Seize it vigorously. Get your boy in Ohio to run. We're gonna win because they stink. By the way, when I say that they stink on Twitter, I get Hindu scribble avatars replying saying, "My good sir, Indians do not live in the trailer park where you live. Sir, you cannot afford to live in the luxury apartments that Indians live in, sir." They're just so unlikable. It's actually fucking unbelievable. So I replied and I went over what I just said, that it's Indians all the way down. But speaking of Indians, we have to give Indians props where Indians deserve props. I gave misinformation, and this would be where the correction hamster appears on my screen, if I had one. I spread misinformation on this podcast, if you can believe it or not. And I falsely said, I don't know if I read this somewhere or my mind simply created it out of nothing. I falsely said that the Indian in Florida who did an illegal U-turn on the interstate killed a white family, and I believe I even said a mother and 2 children. I was wrong. The Indian that made that illegal U-turn and killed 3 people in the car actually killed 3 Haitian men that were illegal immigrants themselves. And so, unfortunately, I have to eat the crow and say that my good Tsar did actually do a service to the United States of America and her people. And so we can come to a middle. Hold up. Petition Indian truck driver change.org. We can come to a understanding here. He can't stay. No, chat. Don't be silly. He can't stay. He has to go back to India. But we can commute the prison sentence, Sar. We can commute the prison sentence here. So let's go. Joshua Moon. And we're just going to sign this petition. He has to go home, but because he can't stay here. But we are going to commute his prison sentence. And honestly, it's just fair. It just makes sense. And the thing is that by sending him back home without having to hold him in prison for 40 years, we save the taxpayers money. This guy, if we just send him back to India and don't let him come back and send back all of his family and stuff to India and don't let them come back, we have saved the taxpayers probably $10 million between prison housing, between the net deficit that Haitian illegal immigrants are costing us. This dude has done the American taxpayer a immeasurable good service. So let's just cut our losses here, send him home. No hard feelings, okay? We don't need to keep you in jail forever. Josh for president. Listen, I've got this all figured out. Okay, I don't. I like to consider myself a pragmatist. Okay, I like to consider myself a pragmatic Tsar, and as a result, I can find difficult ways or prudent solutions to difficult problems. Let's say. Okay. Next. This person will get no simpies at all, except for maybe actual simps. Kendra Noel Manning, 25, a social media influencer, was arrested Sunday for allegedly threatening to plant a bomb at the San Japan Anime Gaming Convention because of gamer subs. Now, maybe chat can help me here. I've only heard the gist of this story. From my understanding, Ms. Manning was outraged at the presence of gamer subs at this anime VTuber convention thing, and so threatened to blow up the convention center due to the unwanted presence of gamer subs. Gamer subs is Nazi approved? I don't think so. I don't think Hitler would give the Wehrmacht any anime titty milk. I think he would be opposed to that. He'd give them Panzer Schokolade though, which is better actually. Ham subs. I guess I should put it's already too late to be honest with you. Put the news ham on. Does it Hitler looks okay? So planting a bomb in the booth today. In reference to her dislike of the gaming nutrition company Gamer Subs. Does somebody have the tweets in here? I would love to know. Oh, she's a cosplay thought. That's what they mean by social media influencer. She's a cosplay thought. Okay, I got you. Should be married with kids. Feminism was a mistake. Good post. I mean, to his credit, if she was married with kids, she would not be in jail for threatening to kill Kiesha. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Where are the tweets? The tweets are here. Do I get to see? Oh, Anna Valens. Oh my God, Anna Valens jumped on this. Our favorite Troon who hates animes. I feel for the gamers sub staff working in San Japan. Having a bomb threat made is horrendous. What could compel someone to post this type of shit? Of course, you're going to get arrested. Where's the? Is it a reply to this? God, this app sucks. Why did Anna Valens delete the reply to this that had the tweets? Hmm. Does nobody have the tweets? And the Troon that posted them deleted them. So now I have no tweets and I must sneeze. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry, chat. Can I read? There's like a screenshot that has like a glimmer of the tweets in them. No, he's having like a slap fight with fucking Reddit mods. That's like the least interesting thing. Nobody cares what a Redditor thinks. Redditors are like the worst people I've ever interacted with. Like every single subreddit just is filled with the most insufferable type of human being on the planet. Okay, I give up. I don't think anyone has the tweets, is my point. Okay, and one little shout out to the federal government. The federal government has arrested yet another 764/com pedophile associate. This one is two of them actually. Dong Hwan Kim, aka Ryzen, was arrested in Los Angeles for possession of child pornography, and he had been actively sextorting minors since 2022. The minors knew their name and they reported them to the FBI, who arrested him. Why it took 3 years is not quite known. Maybe it took 3 years for the kids to report it, but that's what happened. And this one was another arrest. Same thing, 764com. He is Logan Zeitz, who called himself corrupt and was arrested in July for stabbing a woman 20 times in a park and then calling an ambulance for her. Why he called the ambulance, I do not know. I guess he felt bad. So good job, government. Congratulations. We love the FBI when they arrest fucking weirdo losers. I have an update on the Stuart Smith thing. This is within the Raja Jackson assault, attempted murder. Stuart Smith has recovered. He's recovering, but he's now conscious. He's awake. His family is with him. They put out a message saying Stewart has been released from the hospital and is now home resting. He sustained a serious head injury and was unconscious upon arrival at the ER. His injuries include trauma to both the upper and lower jaws, a laceration to his upper lip, and a fracture to the maxilla bone, which has resulted in the loss of several teeth. He has a long road of recovery ahead, but he remains in good spirits despite everything he has been through. We are deeply grateful for all the love and support we've received during this time. Thank you to everyone who has contributed in some way. Whether through monetary donations, food, flowers, or gifts, your kindness means more than words can express. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. With love and respect, Contessa Patterson and Stuart Smith, a.k.a. Psycho Stu. Here he is. Boy's alive. Fewer teeth, fewer bones in his body, but he did not die on the mat, despite the best efforts of a certain Raja Jackson. But then we got Rampage Jackson. He's got something to say about this. He says, "This has gone on too far. I'm sick of being quiet and letting all the low IQ people fall for clickbait. Yes, my son took things too far, and I'm pissed at him for being a POS and the way he handled it. But if Psycho Stu wasn't drunk and wouldn't have hit my son over the head with a real beer can while he was live streaming on his own stream, the Knox wouldn't have felt like they had to make things right by letting Raja get his get back in the ring. If my son would have just went to the police when the beer can incident happened, then the whole event could have been shut down and he could have been sued, or he could have sued. But no, my son is not as smart as I'd like him to be. No. My son's not smart as I like him to be. Now my family and I are getting racist threats because of all the misinformation being posted. So content creators again get paid from viewers, tax-free, by the way. People actually think my son just snuck in a ring up front of a live audience and picked Psycho Stu up without permission to be there. Get smart, people. It was staged. But Raja took it too far. He only shook his hand and accepted Psycho Stu's drunken apology because they said he couldn't get in the storyline. He was told he could fuck him up. I have witnesses that say this isn't the first time. Probably that Stu had done something that people didn't like. Yeah, it's always like that. It's always the comment from the family. He was a good boy. He didn't do nothing. If only the circumstances were different, he wouldn't have been utterly, completely, and totally forced to beat someone half to death to the point where 4 different people had to pull him off like a pit bull eating a toddler's face. If only, things could be different, chat. Small update on Jason Horthal. Wait, Horthal is what Dude, I might actually need to be checked for being dyslexic because the things I say sometimes are just wrong. For instance, I have issues saying the name Kenny Chesney, who was a country singer, because for whatever reason, my brain insists on calling him Chinny Kesney, which is not his name. That is also wrong. So there might be something like fucked up in my brain is what I'm trying to say. As a kid, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Chinny Kesney. Yeah, Chinny Kesney and Jason Horthal are heroes of the day. A small update on him. So somebody was watching old Medicare streams, I guess just to soothe the pain of being in a Medicareless era, okay, and happened to notice that during the episode about the Ashley Madison leaks, which if you're too young to remember, Ashley Madison was a dating site specifically for people in relationships to cheat. So if you were a rich older man who wanted to cheat on his wife, sugar babies would sign up to this site so that you could cheat. That was literally specifically what it was for. This site got hacked, surprise, surprise, and the client list was leaked and their emails. While Medicare was covering this, he flicked through the list of email addresses because there were many very funny emails in this. There were accounts registered to Vatican City email addresses. This is the one that sticks out to me. But he happened to find a couple who were registered to Blizzard email addresses, including, if I pull up the list and it actually loads, Jeremy Hall, which is Jason Thor Hall's father. Here, J Hall at Blizzard, and the DOB is 1961. So apparently Jason's father was fucking around on his mom, and he gets to find out through the Kiwi Farms, in particular one autist who happened to be watching Medicare episodes. Isn't it tragic? He's a second generation Blizzard cheater, chat. Trying to look for some fun. That's right. And that's it on him. Kind of a large update on Stephen Bunnell II, aka Destiny. Let me get a sip of water and think about how I want to talk about this. I also have some coffee. I'm trying out some new coffee beans, chat. I'm trying out like an extra light roast to see if it has a better kick to it. And I get properly fucking wired drinking this coffee. It really hits me. I don't know. It might be because I've lost weight that now my caffeine tolerance is lower. Okay. So here's what happened. Let's start with not so erudite, not so erudite. She has petitioned YouTube to unban her YouTube account. She says, "Hey, Team YouTube, my YouTube account, not so erudite, seems to have been taken down. I believe that this is likely due to mass reporting. I have already made an appeal. Anyone willing to support and get human eyes on it, I would appreciate that. We'll update tomorrow. And then again, she petitioned, said, "Hey, Team YouTube, thanks for the reply. My 55,000 sub channel ran 3 years with 0 strikes. On August 26th, 2 old videos were removed. Then my whole channel was terminated before I even had a chance to review them. Appeal was auto-rejected. My appeal of account removal was denied within minutes of it being made. Can you please escalate for a manual review?" And then YouTube has repeatedly reaffirmed that she will not be getting her channel back. Now, I would never encourage any censorship, chat, and it feels good to have a YouTube account that's not banned. By the way, in case you're wondering, if you are a faithful watcher who actually watches off of YouTube, the editor will be taking control of that channel and putting out clips and montage clips of content segments over entire streams. So if you're interested in that, like if you miss streams and you just want to see like clips of stuff, we'll be using the channel for that purpose. I've already gotten a lot of good feedback for the clip stuff that he put out, so that's exciting. Unfortunately, Erudite will not be able to do so. And from my understanding, what's funny about this is that she's like a huge Destiny simp and was always in his orbit. And then apparently she's done something that's got her banned from YouTube. And Destiny is now powerless to get it restored. So his dark magic powers are waning, and he's no longer influential enough. So she spent all this time simping for sex pestiny, and it won't get her any goods in the end. I have a breaking message here. Oh, it's Harden. It's Harden. Let's see if there's anything I want to say. He says that we're not alone. There's amicus briefs filed by the EFF that are arguing very beneficial things to us. So the number of amicus briefs that they're getting in are very supportive of ending copyright or contributory copyright infringement. And if the court shifts that way, it's a huge thing. It's a big win, not just for the internet as a whole, but more importantly, me, myself, and I. Next on the Destiny block, Destiny himself. This is a little case update as well. What has happened is that a woman by the name of Abby MC has confirmed that she received, while talking to Destiny, in very recent time, nude images of Pixie. And this is a huge deal because Abby... the defense that Destiny has been putting out in his civil case regarding the non-consensual pornography of Pixie has been mostly technical, saying that some of the allegations predate the law, therefore he can't be held responsible for that because of how the Constitution works, and a lot of the allegations happened so long ago after the law that they would be over the statute of limitations, and therefore he can't be held liable for it. Abby received the pictures so recently that they were after the law and in the statute of limitations. So when this came out, Destiny flailed really hard about it and embarrassed himself as per usual. This is one of his defenders. Senkuno Suko says, "You want to see the evidence, bro?" And ZipZip45, a foot soldier for Destiny, says, "We want to see the evidence that Destiny sent you the video of Pixie." Sankuno Sukeo post the evidence. This is the evidence. So this is November 27th, 2023, in the statute of limitations and after the law was passed, saying, No, this was a few months ago. I have such a fucking cum kink, god damn it. I love women that love swallowing. It's so fucking hot, and I love swallowing too. It's literally the only reason I'm bi, because I just fucking love sucking/swallowing. Ugh. What a statement. Anyone that keeps sucking and stuff during and after my orgasm also gets really big points. And then there is an MP4 file sent. Oh no, that girl was definitely my favorite. One of my favorite ever. Ugh, fuck. Here's another one. She's pretty good too, but she needs to use her hands more. And I probably just sent you my fave, but let me check. Oof, I got a video of someone finishing me with a foot job. That was super fun. Although she stopped mid-orgasm, which is hella frustrating, lol. But I finally got someone to finish me with their feet, which was like the first time someone has done it. Wait, have I sent any vids of me getting head before or anything? I enjoy getting fucked in the throat, but for me, deep throat doesn't do much for me at all. No, lol. I just like slower, tonguey, handsy head. And then Destiny sends, oh, that's the video. Okay. Zip Zip responds to this irrefutably disgusting evidence by saying, "Why are you leaking sexual conversations?" Who asked for the leaks, bro? Sankuno Suko replies to Caesar saying, "Are you denying you have boogers? Blow your nose right now if snot comes out." And then I don't know what the fuck that means, but the guy replies again and says, "No, he probably meant it when he said that's true. He treated me very well and kind while I stayed there, though, supplying me with alcohol and such and dining me when I was underage. Fun stuff. Good times, Miami." Destiny replies, I guess Sansuko, despite the name, is Abby. And he says, "Abby, why are you perjuring yourself in this case?" Smug laughing emoji. And then Destiny says, "Abby, why did you run through my apartment taking pictures of my wife's diary?" Skull emojis. Abby replies and says, "Your abuse was scary and you left it open on my coffee table to read." Destiny asks, "My abuse? How did I abuse you?" Destiny says, You know that the diary wasn't left open, it was under the table. You took it out and opened it. So Destiny appears to be confirming that the conversations are real. He did send pictures and videos of women without their consent to Abby. And he also seems to be confirming, for whatever reason, that Abby did come over to his house and spend time with him while she was underage. So this guy, he literally believes he has an IQ of like 180. He believes himself one of the most important political commentators the left has ever had in a generation. He almost went to the fucking White House to meet Joe Biden and get a cookie. And this is what he's up to these days. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? That's the next segment. Where is the thing? Hold up, let me pull it off my notes. I thought I had this ready to go, but I fucked it up. Oh, I might have to go this way. If I can't find it, I can just recount it. It's not too important. I posted it on Twitter even in the last minute or so. Okay, here we go. So this happened yesterday, and it's really big news. So Destiny has been very smugly bragging about how imminent success was coming to his case, and as soon as the judge ruled, everything would be cleared off the docket, and he would walk away completely unimpugned by this attack on his character. However, after the Abby MC leaks came out, the plaintiff, which is Pixie, as Jane Doe, filed a motion requesting that the judge, who has been sitting on a lot of motions for a long time, finally hurry the fuck up and make some determinations. And they also asked that they be granted leave to amend their motion, or their complaint, rather, to include evidence about Abby MC. And that is very, very important because of the statute of limitations thing, where if she is able to include these new accusations, there is no easy, simple out for Destiny. He can't claim that it was before the law. He can't claim that it was after the statute or over the statute of limitations. He now has actual merited claims with a witness who can support the claims that Pixie's nudes were being shared without her consent recently enough to be relevant to Destiny. And he said that this wouldn't happen. He said that his case was about to be dismissed. He told everybody that it's being wrapped up already. And when the judge finally gets around to, you know how women are, so lazy. When she finally gets around to ruling on all their motions, it's all over and there's nothing to worry about. Now, Abby gets to resubmit the complaint, or not Abby, but Pixie gets to resubmit her complaint amended. And as we might have learned from Greer v. Moon, once you submit an amended complaint, it basically restarts the entire proceeding. So there are pending motions that will still be relevant, but it sets it back to square one and more unfavorably to Destiny than it already is. So this is, I'm telling you, this is going to rack up tens of thousands of dollars for Destiny. He's hired a celebrity attorney out of California to represent him in this case. Pixie's attorneys are probably working on either reduced commission or pro bono or something like that, some other arrangement. And this is asymmetrical warfare. And if he loses and he does have to pay out, as I mentioned with the Civil Rights Act, the VAWA Act, the Violence Against Women Act, which the non-consensual pornography thing is a clause under, is one of those statutes that has a very rare fee shifting provision. So even if she's working pro bono, if they win on any merit whatsoever, she gets to collect from Destiny her own fees. And I think she has like a team of attorneys too. I want to say that there's multiple attorneys working for her. So they all get to collect because it's a fee shifting tort. So it's a like I said when this happened, my analysis of this is that this is a very, very bad situation to be in. You're facing very unfavorable torts in a very unfavorable climate, facing accusations that are very unfavorable to your political career in general, but also very specifically your specific slant of politics. It is a serious problem for Destiny, and I think people are observing his metrics. And apparently Destiny streams to 3.5 thousand people some days, which I remember when I last looked at his streams, he would get 12,000. So Destiny is pulling Josh Moon numbers now, and I don't get to stream on any real platform. So it's not looking good for him. Is the oof Josh numbers? Oof, ow, ah, geez, dude, that's rough. That's rough. I know right now I pull Josh Moon numbers, and I sure as fuck would not want to be paying a celebrity attorney to defend myself against a fee shifting provision like that. Definitely would not want to be Destiny. I'll say that much. It's not in the fucking budget. Not in the budget. So yeah, there we go. So that's what's going on in the world of Destiny. Next, I've been watching little droplets of content from Fishtank, from the Sam Hyde world. Jet Neptune is on my personal shit list, not just for being a Croat, chat, but for being a Croat who has talked about injuring my flock, taking a baseball bat to the Kiwi farms. Such remarks make an enemy for life, chat. So I'm sitting here watching the Jet Neptune down spiral. I got some more text message leaks from Claire, who posted, I don't know what the fuck that picture is of. That looks like an amputee black man, but she's probably is a meme. But she says, the only thing that bothered me with the Jet situation, how do I read disgusting sexual comments? So I just have to read everything stupid in the Ralph voice so that it's clear I'm doing a voice. Because people listening are going to get confused and think this is a text message from Ralph. Okay, this is what Clara says, okay? The only thing that bothered me with the Jet situation is when I gave him head last night, I was in handcuffs, and he took a video without asking, and he knows I don't fuck with nudes or porn, so it felt like it was on purpose. The person recording, who I don't know the name of, says, what the fuck? Like, and he says, but he knew I wasn't going to say anything. And the person recording this says, oh my God, bitch, be lawsuit ready. That's fucking insane. Claire continues, like actual blackmail. God, I fucking lost it. If I switch between voices, my fucking tubes get all blown up and I can't think anymore. Like actual blackmail material. Okay, yeah, my face when I get sex trafficked, LOL. I'm glad you didn't stay because I know I was supposed to stay more at the house. So Jet Neptune being accused of being a trafficker, of recording pornography non-consensually, of bound women, knowing they don't want to be recorded. And then this has inspired people to finally make the Jet Neptune thread. This is currently in Prospering Grounds. Here's the winning tweet right here from this Croat. Jet says, famous words, I would love to hit every Kiwi Farms user in the head with a wooden bat. And it was this comment that was so radioactive, or that spurred the ire of the radioactive kiwi farms. He's batless. So I haven't read through this yet. I don't know. Maybe I will. And get the Jet Neptune lore. I don't know much about him. He just kind of spawned in a gutter one day. But to get some extra lore on Fish Tank, there was a body cam footage released of when the Fish Tank was shut down. And this lady, I don't even know who the fuck it is. CK? She had some words for the police when they stopped by. Let's see what she says, chat.
What happened is I'm internet famous. I was on a show called Fish Tank Live.
Okay.
And it's kind of like Survivor, Big Brother.
Okay.
And they do a lot of humiliating on the show. And it's been giving me a lot of trouble with live streaming and stuff in public.
Okay.
Because like my character gets all crazy and stuff, and it's got me in a lot of trouble. So like I stepped back because it's a really bad show. We're on camera. I believe it could be like a possible sex ring or something.
Okay.
Yeah. They like to target women.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, sir?
Mm-hmm.
And human trafficking is one of my largest like fears in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's yeah.
Okay.
Here I am. That's why the IHOP thing happened. And I do have one thing on my record. I have a trespassing attempt because of the Fish Tank Live thing.
Okay.
I was live streaming
Doing something
at a
for
bowling
that.
alley, a private bowling alley, and I was homeless actually, and I had a bunch of stuff in my hands, and I was going to the bathroom to change, like my clothes and stuff, and I dropped a toy, and I yelled shit or fuck. I think it was shit, and there was a mother and a daughter. They were in front of me. I witnessed it, and then she called the cops.
We're
on
Secure
me.
Central.
And then I went to jail. Then I went to the wellness check. 2 weeks later, I went to wellness, went to the psych ward. 2 weeks later, got out. They arrested me for trespassing because I forgot I was trespassing.
Yeah.
Because I was in the war for 2 weeks, and they actually allowed me to be there for 4 hours until arresting me.
Okay.
And yeah, long story short, Fish Tank Live has got me in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Okay, so now that I've heard this and I've seen the Jet Neptune leaks, it makes me wonder, is Sam Hyde being deferential to Nick Fuentes? Is this him like preparing for the Jet Neptune Albanian sex trafficking ring news to drop? Like I need an audience of people who will love me, even if I'm a human trafficker, by the legal definition, allegedly. And then he's like, who do I know that's a human trafficker? Andrew Tate. Well, he's kind of brown. I don't want to associate with him. Who does Andrew Tate like? Nick Fuentes. They wouldn't care about sex trafficking allegations and Albanians and Neptune. So he figured it, cracked the code. He cracked the code to save face if certain charges drop against his henchmen. Makes sense to me. I can understand that. Next up, this is a clip that was sent to me, and I have no idea who this person is. I don't know. Maybe they're funny, but it's a clip that I really like. Okay, and so I'm gonna play it. This is Quattro Centos playing a game called Geometry Dash. It is my understanding that Geometry Dash is one of the most horrifically autistic games that has ever existed, with a fan base completely embroiled in perpetual sex abuse scandals. Somehow, I don't know how. I just hear these things. I have a thread on the forum that is about Geometry Dash, and for whatever reason, the weirdest shit happens with that thread. So I'm vaguely aware that this is a thing. And so this guy, Quattro Santos, is going to play a very, very hard, apparently the hardest level of Geometry Dash, and apparently it doesn't go well for him. So let's just take a listen and take a little interlude here to watch him play Geometry Dash. No. This is not a Jops moment. You misunderstand. Take a look at normal mode. Notice how it says 99%. Apparently, he died on the very last frame. So he was hoping to be one of the only people who've beaten this map on normal mode. But at the very, very end, after all that tippity-tappity, he choked. I guess it would be like if you played Super Mario Bros. If there was a little Goomba right next to the flag and you just fucking walk into him after beating one of the hardest levels. It's like you made it that far, 99%, then on the very last frame, you fucked up. So he's not jumping for joy. He's not cheering. He's not shouting his heart out. He's not crying because he accomplished some amazing speedrunner feat and 007. He is crying because he lost. But he almost won, and that's what really matters. I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know. Maybe Geometry Dash should become a feature of my streams. Apparently, there's oil, there's liquid gold in them hills if you have the capacity, the autism to dig deep enough and find them. This is a brief update as well on Synthetic Man. Synthetic Man did a community post where he asked, "Do you think I'm gay?" And with 7,000 votes, his own community determined that he is gay. And then he made a post coming out saying, "I'm gay." So I would like to congratulate Synthetic Man on coming out. It is 2025. It's okay to be gay, Synthetic Man. Congratulations. This is the only update related to Synthetic Man that I have to share. Now, coincidentally, this is by Bog Beef. He's a Bossman Jack enjoyer. And he has this little clip of Bossman being driven. He mentioned this on his podcast when I was talking to him. So this is the clip of Bossman Jack driving with his mom to go buy some crack. Let's take a look.
Currently driving to the Plug's house with my mom. Beautiful day here in Virginia. It's around 77 degrees. Currently driving to the Plug's.
Damn, that 77 degrees nice. I have more of Bossman actually. So where's the clip of him? Did I talk about the 70K? I might have to look. I have a little bit of extra content. Okay, this is, how long is this? 17 minutes. Is it not a short version for people who do streams? The short is, Bossman Jack is in need, okay? He wants to kill an elf. And he is a very sad dude, and he doesn't want to do this anymore. And he needs a juicer. And sometimes when God's strongest crack addict, gambling addict, asks for juice, he's met by God's strongest juicer. And this juicer gave an ungodly tithe to Bossman Jack of $30,000. He gave a crack-addicted gambling addict $30,000 to have a nice little gamba sesh with. And as I noted, that video of his run up and run down with $30,000 juice was 17 and a half minutes. This man gave Bossman Jack $30,000, and in 17 and a half minutes, it was gone. Like tears in the rain. So afterwards, he was very unhappy. Here's the face of a man who just lost $30,000 in 17 and a half minutes and has nothing to show for it. He says, "I fucking blew it. I fucking blew it all, man. Goddamn, bro. I'm fucking hurting, bro. I'm hurting, man. Holy shit. I don't want to wake up tomorrow for real, bro. I really don't. Illy ucking don't, dude." I need a clip of him. Is that real? Did he actually punch himself so hard? No, that has to be fake. Nobody told me that he hit himself so hard he drew blood and broke it. What the fuck? Okay, spamming Discord. There's that's the Shuffle gave him $3,000 as pity because he lost all that money in one go. And then he immediately withdrew that money and went over to stake.us with it. So that money's just gone from Shuffle. Sorry about that. What Viewer takes Xanax, drinks hot sauce, and hits a bong for $100 juicer. I don't think Bossman gave it to him. Let's see if there's a clip I want to play. There is definitely a clip that I want to play. I think this is the injury arc of him losing that money.
Oh, dude, I actually want to die right now. Dude.
He's doing $3,000. Yeah, three.
I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I swear to God, I can't. Oh my God.
Oh, that's why his nose was bleeding.
Yo.
Damn.
Yo. Oh my
Dude.
God, I'm gonna do it, bro.
Boss Man. Okay, this might be a little bit of a left field. Boss Man is getting to that point where he has nothing left to lose. He's already lost it all. And I've been told by a very reliable movie that it's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. Now, hear me out. He is a insomniac. He is self-injurious, and he lost it all. And most importantly, he wants to fuck a dude. Now, I don't know. I can't say for sure. I have no evidence to support this, but it is entirely possible that Bossman has Brad Pitt as an alter ego, and he is setting up a terrorist organization throughout the state of Virginia. I have no evidence to support this claim whatsoever, but it's making sense to me, at least. Let's see. Is there anything else? I want to see him. I want to see the keyboard. This rat sent him a keyboard, or 10 very, very cheap keyboard. And what do you mean no fucking results? Don't fucking lie to me, you son of a bitch. Am I spelling this wrong? Am I retarded? There's a very funny clip of him smashing a keyboard, and there's like keys flying everywhere, and it's extremely Kino. That's pretty good. All right. Oh, when he smoked crack now, he just goes into the corner of the room and says he's making coffee. Like he has like an espresso machine in the corner of his room with like a proper 30 amp circuit over there for him to make espresso in. Oh, is this the keyboard?
Bro, I cannot believe I just lost all my money.
Please be the keyboard.
Bro, I want to fucking kill myself.
No, god damn it. Stop hitting yourself. Yeah! Yeah! The key, yeah! Fuck that keyboard up. Smash it one more time. Yeah!
I'm gonna fucking kill.
One more time. Yeah! He's scattering all over the place. Beautiful. It's like flower petals from trees or whatever.
Kill myself, dude.
Nice. Nice. Okay. I cannot play a full 17-minute long clip. Just know that when I say that he got $30,000 and ran it up and lost it all in 17 and a half minutes, I'm not lying. And this is going to be a bit of a short stream. But I would like to introduce you to somebody I've never spoken about before. This guy is a favorite of the Bossman Jack people. Sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes Bossman Jack isn't streaming. Sometimes he's in jail. And the lost souls of the Kino Casino, which is spelled differently because it's our chat room. It's not actually the Kino Casino. It's spelled with an E. The Kino Casino have to venture out and find other talents. And one of their favorites is a guy called Chris, DJ Chris. DJ Chris, if I remember correctly, is a convicted nonce in the United Kingdom. And he is a self-styled DJ. He is the only person in the world who streams on D Live still. And what he does is he plays really, really old vintage music, like Elvis era. And he considers himself a DJ, and people bully the fuck out of him because he's a sicko, as Cobes would say. And basically, he just drinks and he yells at his chat, and that's it. It's not too interesting, but I end up seeing a lot of this guy just because Kino Casino loves it. Kino Casino is spelled with an E, I should clarify. So here are some clips from Chris to perhaps intrigue some of you who've never heard of him before. And I haven't watched these yet, but I'll watch them with you.
Darling.
But you know what? While I was doing that, I should have preloaded these clips because, as I mentioned, the site's a little bit slower than I prefer at the exact moment. Yeah, that's a lot of clips. I will continue down these clips until I get bored of them. That's the rule. That's a lot of fucking clips, bro. Holy shit. Never mind. This stream's gonna last 4 hours because I guess we're watching all of this. Okay, whatever. Chris shows a frame of porn he has pulled up in the telly and lets Ruben know that he wants to make a porno starring her right here on D Live. I don't think we can watch that. Some gifts for Robert from a Whole Bargains. An extendo sausage he jerks off and drops on the filthy carpet. Most likely eats it later. Okay, let's see this. It's cocked. Do not redeem. Okay, good job, chat. Thank you for the warning. Maybe I should open the Kino Casino chat on my stream so they can warn me about this. Why is this not playing? I have it preloaded. If there are any that I should play, by the way, you should let me know. By the way, the lore is he's a DJ, so he has a vinyl record player. But my understanding is that he literally picked that vinyl record player up at like the side of the road by a bin, like a rubbish bin. So he, that vinyl player is not like some high-end disc jockey vinyl player. That's like actual garbage that's on his table.
Not me sexy fucking jelly babies. I got some jelly babies from Whole Bargains. I love jelly babies. Even went to what do you call it? Fucking can't remember that fuck. Aldi and got me 2 sandwiches.
Aldi. So, in case you're wondering who buys sandwiches at like gas stations and shit that are already pre-made because they're too fucking lazy to cut a sandwich on their own. Like, don't get me wrong. If you buy a sandwich at like a gas station or whatever because you're trucking and you can't make your own sandwich, that's fine. If you're an unemployed pedophile living off the dole, you have no benefits, no reason not to make your own sandwich.
Aldi got me a couple of sandwiches where you get your work package. That was nice of him. Very nice. So you got brie and bacon sandwiches. I actually forgot all about that actually.
I'll add some output gain for your benefit.
We're on the way down, and I said I've nipped to the chippy, and I actually found
a nip to the chippy.
Cock in my mouth, and I never said cock. I said sausage. Don't be rude.
Does a nip to a chippy mean you go to a chip shop and get French fries? That's not a French fry.
That's what you call a sausage. Look at the size of that fucker. Look at the size of that sausage. That's what you call a fucking sausage.
Deutsche Wurst is better. Okay, just so you know. Especially with mustard. Brits can't compete with the German sausage.
And then I got a fucking.
He just threw it on the ground. Okay, so he eats it later.
Hey, Ruby, my sausage is on the floor.
I've had Lebenwurst.
Come here.
It's
Me footlongs.
I even had what is it, Leberkäse? That shit's good. Put mustard on that, it's good.
Oh fuck, I'm pissed. Oh yeah. Oh,
This guy. Oh, there you go. He's jerking off his British sausage. I see. He's fucked up. What does he drink? Kino chat, what does he drink? Does he like just drink straight gin all the time, or is gin too fancy? I was suggested this one. Let's see if I get. Okay, this is from a different day, obviously. Let's see. I'll turn off the gain just in case this is super loud. Turn down the gain, I said, and then I try to fumble it. There we go. Wow. He drinks everything. Oh, Jesus. Oh. I'm glad I turned down the gain. That would have been deafening. Dorslick says he drinks anything that's at a reduced price or stolen. Okay, he's not choosy. I got you. Raw prawn sandwich that falls apart when he tries to show it off to the camera. Okay. Do I really have... I guess I opened too many videos on this page and now it's like out of memory and can't play them. What sucks? Why is my site so fucking broken, chat? Little context. A casino neighbor came in to chat to bully Chris, and I kept unbanning the guy because I had mod at the time. I thought he was convicted of pedophilia. Why does he say he's not a pedophile? What was he convicted of? What's his cope?
No, take it. No, I'm not a nonce! Alright! Back off! I'm not a fucking pedophile! Alright!
He's convicted of possessing child pornography, but he says that he's not a nonce? How is this possible? What is the cope here? He was sent a dodgy link by Tony Bind, and then he got scooped up on a bogus charge. That's his excuse. He was merely sent the link and set up.
Fuck off!
There's something grim about an alcoholic wearing like a beer shirt. It would be like if
Ruby fucking digging at me. I've got your own digging at me. I am not a fucking pedophile. Alright? I'm saying to it. Everyone's ever fucking studying, you thick cunt. You thick cunt. I am not a fucking pedophile, alright? I am not a fucking pedophile. Alright? So get anyone pissing digging at me, the lot of you. I've had enough. I've had enough.
holy shit.
Stop digging at me.
Okay, the Kino chat is now sending me their favorite clips, not things from this post. They're pretty good. Okay, I've received a recommendation for this clip. Apparently this is quality content from the Chris verse. If it loads. Don't do me like this. Come on now. Maybe I can download it. Okay, let's try. I'll come back to that one in a second. I want the video of the fucking sandwich falling apart, but I guess I'm not going to get my way here, huh? Ah. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's get a first impression here for those only listening. We have DJ Chris here. He has ascended to Aryanism, like he's a Dragon Ball Z character, because he has doused himself in white flour. So his hair is white. It looks like he's got a carton of a half dozen eggs in front of him. It looks like he's trying to make bread, but he's trying to make bread on his own head. Let me just look at what we got on the table here. I see what looks like a bottle of talcum powder. So this might actually be talcum powder instead of flour. I see a fifth of Jaeger, yeah, but he's not drinking the Jaeger. He's drinking a beer. That is the biggest thing of beer I have ever seen. The FAX thing that's on his desk, that is enormous. That's like a 40 ounce, but I think even bigger. That's fucking gigantic. Okay, so let's see the egg taste. Is this what he's actually playing? Okay. I've been told that it is actually flour, and I am correct. He is trying to make bread on his head.
I'm doing 6 eggs. 6. Now leave me alone.
I've gone fucking mental here. Good choice in music. I see why he's a DJ now. I do want to hear him use the F slur. That's why. Why is he relegated to D Live? I think he's like the only person in the entire world who's banned from both Rumble and Kick and has to stream on D Live. And from my understanding, there's a reason for it that he's been banned.
You boring fucking faggot. Okay? You're a faggot. Okay?
Okay.
You're an absolute faggot. Okay, Cookie?
So mean. Oh, we got a fifth of Captain Morgan. Honestly, I'm not British, and I know in the United States our food stamps are restricted to certain things. Like you can't buy Captain Morgan with food stamps in the U.S. You might illegally be able to trade, $10 of food stamps for $5 of alcohol, like quid pro quo or whatever. Like that's a thing, but you can't buy fifths. Do you just get straight dosh in the bank to spend on Captain Morgan in the UK if you're not employed? You can use the cash for it. You just straight up get money to buy alcohol. Okay.
I can see how.
Why does he have a server? That's a rack mount server chassis on his table. What the fuck is that for? Is that his computer? Is this what's streaming this? What the? Oh my god. I've never seen this angle of his room before. It's completely filled with fucking garbage. And for some reason, there's a half disassembled server chassis on his table. So I don't know if he's streaming from a server, like a rack mount for whatever reason. That's really bizarre.
The shot. It says. Get up!
Okay, so it's been explained to me that his collection of junk, including his computer, is owed up to the fact that he is basically a spendy person. And I'll let this play while I explain this. Actually, it's not really that important. So what he does is anytime he sees something offered or sold at a discount, he'll buy it thinking it's a great deal because he has like a pathological issue. And then he just chucks that shit in the corner, including his server, apparently. He's too drunk to get up. Oh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles of beer. 3 are uncapped. There's a bottle of Smirnoff Ice in the background. Another fifth of... No, actually, that's not Smirnoff. That's something else. Oh, it is Smirnoff. There's 2 fifths of Smirnoff on his desk. And that looks like another Jaeger bottle. So he's properly fucking toasted. Down there on the floor down there. Is that a server or a monitor mount in the... What is he fucking with? Looks like a dual monitor stand right there. I can't get on. Okay. Let's see. Mark Goldbridge has a request. Let's see what this one is.
Somebody to hear, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here.
What did he do? Did I miss it? He like hits his head? I might have just missed that one. I was expecting... I'm probably too accustomed to Bossman Jack to hear behavior that I just... My eyes managed not to see it. He dented his head. His head is like still permanently dented that way? Like he's never recovered from this and he still has a dent in his head from this event. Is this what I'm being informed of from the chat? Okay, I understand. This is another... Oh, I've seen this before. This is a GIF that they post in the chat a lot. He just fell over. Is it mean to make fun of an alcoholic? Probably. But I'm not making him drink. The British taxpayer is. Okay. I don't really have any sympathy for alcoholics. I'm going to be real with you. I don't even have like bad experience with alcohol or alcoholics. It's just like I just don't have any sympathy for addicts in general. What's this now? Okay, so that is apparently a wall clock. He apparently had some chicken, and to keep his chicken fresh overnight, he took his wall clock and put it over the pan, which doesn't appear to be. I guess it was probably flush against it when he wasn't holding it, but he is being engineering. Exactly, that's that engineering, that white ingenuity, the British ingenuity that won the war. A dirty clock, very specifically. I missed one of the door stuck clips, I think. He has a lot of relationship drama with this lady called Ruby, who is a crazy BPD hag who messes with him constantly. Okay. Okay, there's one more thing I have to show you before Chris, and then I'll do the super chats. But this is the most important thing that you have to know about Chris, okay? This image I've seen more than I can count. It is posted continuously. It's probably the absolute favorite Chris GIF of the Kino Casino chat. And this is Chris's gunt. He has an extraordinarily rotund belly that is shaped almost perfectly spherical. I have seen this image many, many, many times. How a body is shaped that way through mere natural processes, I cannot comprehend. But the evidence is there. There are true medical marvels happening in England. Here's an example. Okay, last clip. This sounds funny. Look at all those bottles of Smirnoff. Holy fuck. There's 4. There's one in the foreground, too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that a yellow jacket that I see back there? Uh-oh. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, Mr. DJ Chris. Knock, knock. We got some concerns we'd like to talk to you about. We got some concerns about this your living situation over here. I think binge drinking and beating your wife are the only 2 things in England you don't need a license for. So this is not likely to be a license issue. He's so tiny. That lady cop dwarfs him. I didn't realize that he's so small. Dude, there's definitely a thing where like pedophiles are often like super dysgenic. They're usually like super fucking ugly. They're manlets. There's something wrong with them. Like he's mogged by this lady coppa. They're putting on the nitrile gloves. Oh, we gotta protect ourselves touching this fucking desk. Oh, hell yeah. This is fucking music, chat. I'm gonna be a little bit disappointed if there's not a physical confrontation to this music.
Everybody was
This is the part you gotta start fighting on the ground now. Come on.
but they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen.
What's he being arrested for? Illegal music sharing? What is this? Oh no. The woman cop has seized like direct control of the Chris Puda at this point. They checked his drives for real? I mean, I guess if he's on if he's a convicted child pornographer, then I guess they can just warrantlessly enter his home and check his computer at any time, right? As like part of his release. I think that's a thing we even have in the US, so it's not like a super British thing. Okay, this I have been instructed by a good lad, a friend of the forum, that I have to play this clip. This is important. So let's see.
I would do it, but I can show you. I can show me pissing girl. Is here?
Piss kettle.
I can show you
the piss kettle.
There you go, pissing kettle.
Oh, wonderful.
But I can't show you my penis. I'll get banned off the website. So I'm not gonna bother. There you go. I pissed.
Wonderful. The piss kettle, and you can even see it. Awesome. Very cool. It's effectively black, which means you're not drinking enough water in between your entire fifths of Smirnoff, my good sir. Cool. Okay. That is DJ Chris. He has a thread on the Kiwi Farms. Christopher Murray Weil, also known as DJ Heartbeats, also known as Christopher DJ, also known as Sexy Chris Weil, also known as Sexy Chris, also known as the Beer King 177, also known as Heartbeat DJ 1989, also known as Chris White, described as a fat British pedophile trash streamer with 10 years of uppercase I internet history as a little cow. Very small thread, so if you're a fan of Chris, you're doing it before it's cool, chat. Cool. Okay, so I have some special content. One thing I did not cover was some Troon stuff. Actually, I missed an entire segment because it was a bit short. Just real quick, Amber Lynn is being sued in small claims court by her aunt Tammy, which will force her to appear in person. So that's happening. In Wisconsin, they proved that the Wisconsin school was notified that a 13-year-old transgender was contemplating or planning a mass casualty event, and they covered it up actively because they were afraid of what would happen politically to transgenders if they reported it. So they literally covered up a potential mass murder to protect tranny feelings, basically. That's your school. You mean it was your school before you graduated, right, motherfucker? So what is the name of it? The Les Paul Middle School in Waukesha, Wisconsin, had a Columbine-style school shooting plot, but the parents were never informed of the threat. So whistleblowers are saying that they actively tried to cover it up to stop poor heckin' trans NBs from being discriminated against. However, the recent shooting at the church undid all that good work, and now transgenders are being targeted. In particular, the Trump DOJ has leaked out, and I this happens a lot, and I feel like it's Trump doing feelers where they just unofficially let some people know they're thinking about something to see what like the Twitter reaction is from people before they make any official comment. So they've leaked out that they're considering different avenues for restricting gun ownership for trannies. The most obvious one is that the Gun Control Act of 1968, if you've ever bought a gun, you have to declare if you have ever had any mental illnesses. And theoretically, they could classify being transgender as a mental illness and therefore disqualify transgenders from owning weapons under that designation. Which, of course, has caused some outrage. Now, as a crafty, savvy internet user, I am very aware of something that I don't think a lot of people would be aware of. So this is exclusive content. I'm not even harvesting this from the Kiwi Farms. I just happen to know about this. There's a subreddit called R Trans Guns, and they've had some fun reactions to this. I've been watching mods delete stuff too, so I know that there's some spicier posts that are getting removed before I can archive them. Shoddy Signal 5174 says DOJ deliberates trans gun ban. And so it begins. Get what you can afford now, because let's be honest, they're going to cram this through as fast as possible. This post was deleted. Oh no, it's just an error. DOJ considers banning trans people from owning firearms. The only non-social media, non-Newsmax links I could find so far. Laurent says, I can't see how this is constitutional, but I guess that doesn't matter anymore. Actually, you passed the Gun Control Act, so it's your own fucking fault. Sorry, Mr. ATF, man. I lost all my guns in a riverboating accident, so now they're using all the boomer memes. For those still willing to engage the government, and this is what got penned as the trans gun official response to this, is that you should email your representative and say, hello, I'm a deranged tranny, and I know we keep killing your children and threatening to kill you and your politicians, but I heckin' deserve rights too, don't I? For my cold, dead, fucking NB hands, and we have a CZ75, which is, I believe, a collector's gun. So if you like this gun, know that it's in Troon hands, ready to be pried out. Here's another gun show-off from Blitzkrieg762, a very fascinating username for a Troon warrior. The gun community right now, and then it's the meme format. Never thought I'd be fighting side by side with a transgender. And then the elf is saying, how about side by side with a fellow Second Amendment advocate? Okay, sure, but just so you know, I'm not like gay or anything. And then people are saying, this is not at all what I'm seeing in other gun subs, upside down frowny face. I have seen Brendan Herrera even say that they're not okay with this. So it is an interesting dichotomy. It would be fascinating if the response to this was to repeal the Gun Control Act of 1968. That would be very fascinating indeed, because that would legalize not only suppressors, but also automatic guns, I believe. Another one. This is I don't know what this is. It looks cool though. This looks like the curved magazine and the box design of it makes me think it's like an AK platform. And trannies love AKs because they think the Soviet Union was super cool. Another from my cold dead hands post. Suck it, Trump-tard fascist. How do you like the 32? I always thought the idea was cool, but I've heard mixed opinions from people who actually have them. Why are y'all posting this? I lost all mine in a boating accident. I can't have one. This has a Greek thing, but this is their banner in trans guns. Come and take it with an AK-47 silhouette on the trans flag. And then here's one with the AR instead. The AK is sent too hard by our community as being a leftist symbol. Use the best tool for the job. And it's an AR-15, according to Blaja Blaster, which is a shark. And I forgot how sharks became a tranny thing, but now they are. And then this one, if you haven't been getting ready, it's already too late. Sorry, this post was deleted by the person who originally posted it. Well, Chad, it looks like I've been bested by trannies yet again. Unfortunately, this post has been deleted, so I can't show you. Or can I? Here we have this poster. These tits kill fascists, his shirt says. Here we have another one. He's posing with what looks like an AR. There's no magazine in it, but he's also got these tits kill fascist picture. He's striking a pose. And what would really send that message home, chat? How about a big middle finger to the heckin' gun-grabbing fascist, epically owned Trump-tards? Let's see if there's a next. The NRA has come out against restricting gun ownership from trannies, apparently. Finley, reminder about our Discord. NRA supports trans rights. This needs to be our watershed moment. As a community, we need to put up or shut up. If the DOJ does this, we can't just sit there and wait for them to come to us. We need to act. And do what? What are you going to do? Are you going to file a lawsuit? Are you going to go protest? What does that imply? I found this on the Dredge Report, of all places. Feds mold trans gun ban. Cruel, misguided, and dangerous, says leading firearms advocate. Dude, Dredge has been so fucking gay for so long. Reminder, can't stop the motherfucking signal. Deterrence dispensed the catalog, or the catalog. So I think this is a 3D printing thing, so you can print your own guns if you're a tranny. In New York, they're trying to make a bill to protect trans rights for gun ownership. I guess I guess what they really want is only trannies should have guns. 2026 is going to be crazy. And then it's two guys. One has an RPG. The spotter says that one's got blue hair. And the guy with the RPG says, try to change genders now. I'm not sure what this is a criticism of. You're really going to die for trans rights. Someone is. Just wait until they find out trans furries are one of the most heavily armed demographics in the country. That's cool. I got armor and night vision too. I mean, from my understanding, RPGs are not stopped by armor. You're really going to die for drag queens and queer folk? Someone is. Okay, gross. I have a special outro song related to this. And so it's at the very end, as my outro songs usually are. But I've got a great outro song, okay? So I'm encouraging you to sit through the super chat segment so you can get my excellent outro sequence. It'll be worth it, I promise. Cool. Okay, Veto review coming out on the Gumroad and Locals this weekend. MatthewInternet.locals.com, MatthewInternet.gumroad.com. I promise. I've already read through it and written my notes. I just have to record my opinions of it. Awesome. Let's go through. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator for 10 says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, who do you think is the hornier, the French or the Japanese? Or perhaps they're both equally horny in different ways. The Japanese, easily. IRS D's Nuts for $1.34 says, when you think about it, which is tax-free, by the way. When you think about it, it's like our dick spends most of its life in prison and not even in gen pop with other inmates. It's protective custody and lockdown 23 hours a day or more. It's so sad. Hashtag free our peepees. I've never thought of it that way. Unkind Naysayer for 2 says, no, the press wants to know your opinion in the most pressing issue of our time. What is your favorite dinosaur? Bonus points, favorite herbivore, carnivore, and piscivore. I don't really have one. When I was a kid, I don't know, all the raptors are cool, like the Utah raptor. I think I actually went on a bone dig in Colorado, and I think that they were excavating like a Utah raptor or something up there. Unkind Naysayer for 10 says, tax-free, Bish, 5-star days. Thank you. Bucker Housing for 5 says, time to consume content, no pick today. Also tax-free, thank you. Anime Sucks Copen Sneed for 2 says, Ralph agreed to interview Onion Knoll. Sad. If Ralph brings on Kingle, will you hop on Bish to debate live? Absolutely fucking not. Kingle's like a fucking retard. Logistical Nightmare for 10 says, become untaxed, chat, in Minecraft. No, in real life. In real life, become untaxed. So it's tax-free. Thank you. Meow Meowings for 50 tax-free dollars says, sad can't watch this live today, but happy Friday, Josh. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Indomitable for 5 says, please rate the $1 million Austin, Texas design change. Okay. Let's see. This is atrocious. It looks like the soulless corporate branding of like a power company or something. Yeah, that's fucking hideous. I give it 0 out of 10. Remove Antler Menace for 2 says, Josh, you mispronounced my name last week. You pronounced antler with a uppercase I instead of a lowercase L. You are a brain poison, child. This is why your life is already over. I guess so. I mean, it's hard to read the green. I need to do something and make the green names more readable on the colored backgrounds. Meowga 1 for 5 says, does the USIPS membership have any cool benefits? Can I claim to be a USIPS member on LinkedIn, CVs, or business cards? Sure. Why not? You'll get a card eventually if you join. David S877 for 25 says, sadly, I have to watch live today, so I can't watch at 3x like I normally do. Tragic, bro. Tragic. I feel like I've been talking slow today. I'm not sure why. Thank you. Baldo Pagans for 5 says, I can't believe Minnesota put a nationwide warrant on the Ralph Mail for recording a court hearing. Meanwhile, they've done nothing but that 55-year-old Dabble neighbor Soft Weekly doing it. He bragged about doing it was the issue. He said they can't get him in Mexico. So they're like, okay, watch this. Baldo Pagans for 2 says, 2-tier justice in Minnesota. Hashtag free Ralph. Hashtag tax free. Hashtag Bish. I'm telling you, bro. It's just because he bragged about it. Crispy Legs Forever for 10 says, Happy Friday, party emojis. Thank you very much. I am having a great Friday. Sneedo for 1 says, he's fat, he shits his pants, and he's jerking off to Melanie Mack. Whoa, buddy. Apparently, Quartering also says something about incontinence and how he believed that people were incontinent in Ozempic, which kind of hints that he shits himself too, which is not a good look. But he probably, everything else is true. Remove Antler Menace for 2 says, kill Antler Menaces, behead Antler Menaces, urinate into an Antler Menace's habitat, judo throw Antler Menaces into your truck, stir fry Antler Menaces in a walk. I'm assuming that this guy hunts deer very aggressively and passionately, apparently. Seek a Loather for 10 says, when I hear people of my kind stealing research, it is some big corporation or big government unhappy that said researcher is continuing his research elsewhere back home. Quite stupid, honestly. Aren't you Filipino? I don't think you're actually Chinese. Thank you. Anime Sucks Copen Sneed for 2 says, I really need to make this fucking money, though. I need this money. I really do. I really need to make this money. I'm done. Why am I poisoned? What? TB Deluxe for 5 says, have a good stream. Josh, also, are you back in the coffee or are you still being a decaffeinated dunce? I'm drinking coffee, as I said earlier. I started drinking caffeine again after Lent was over. About Tree Fitty 01 for 5 says, I said, God damn it, monster. I ain't giving you no Tree Fitty. Okay. Next, Haramburger for $5 billion. Very good. Humble Guardian for 3 says, but I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. Humble Guardsman for 3 says, for he makes his sun rise on evil and on the good and sends rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Humble Guardsman for 3 says, do not even the tax collectors do the same? That's true. Though I don't know. I think tax collectors even tax those who love them. They tax their own mothers. Isn't that despicable? The Horse Beater for 5 says, this super chat is brought to you by Tax-Free Gang Bish. And it's true. It is. Thank you. Fatty Caddy for 2 says, buy land cheap and PR. Josh, when you don't know anything about property market, can you just say you have some money, buy some shit? PR is not cheap. I just assumed it's cheap because it's full of brown people. Bunker Housing for 3 says, Melonia Mack is as far from OnlyFans as you can come. She looks pretty hot and is conservative. Did you know she is 39? Yep, that is some paint job. Not so nice to wake up to. Is Melanie Mack the one I keep calling the OnlyFans girl and then with somebody else? I've done this many times. So she probably hates me if she's aware of this. I keep confusing her with somebody else that is with OnlyFans. I can't help it. Dude, the fucking tattoo sleeve. Okay, when you have a tattoo sleeve, you look like a prostitute. I don't know how to be nice about this, okay? Awaken 34 for 1 says, I turn my favorite streamer on and I see a scuffed Tony Stark. Why did Ricada think this was a good look? Why does Ricada think anything he thinks, bro? It's Red Cat for 2 says, Hambly always struck me in the wrong way after that drunken attempt to brigade Menegar and get him deplatformed. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that gets people to hold a grudge for a very long time. Haramburger for 2 says, oh man, there's a lack of Nick Fuentes and Nick Ricada content. The Nick fans, the Nickers, as we like to call them, are starving this week. Yeah, not much to say about the Knicks. The Nickers are dying in the streets. Millions to go to the moon. None for Nickers. Sneeda Stanny for 5 says, enjoy this tax-free 5-pack. The reason Rackets cut his camera was because he was silently spurging at his lawyer by his arguments and didn't want the judge to see that. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this, but one of the things that was pointed out was that his lawyer kept raising objections, and there was a suspicion that he was raising objections because Ricada was telling him to raise the objections, and eventually the judge got really annoyed and said, shut up, because he kept objecting and they were not merited, which was embarrassing, according to the viewers. Rungold for 5 says, Kumquat, come because you are a gay guy. No, it's spelled with a K. Get it right. Fentard for 5, and he actually managed to get an exact dollar amount through Monero, which is hard to do. Trannies hate women and don't like straight males. Groypers also hate women and don't like non-gooner straight males. They are pretty much the same ? I can't argue with that. Sounds accurate to me. Blue and Fu Yu for 10 says, to understand the Stripe brothers, understand where they were born. And there's a YouTube link. Okay. You have 10 seconds with this YouTube link. This is Ireland, I guess. Is this like Snatched or something?
Knight Rider.
in Limerick City, starring Pigeon, Dauber, and Etney. Okay, kid, just gonna park up here in Wickham Street.
Right away, Michael.
The fuck am I
Check
listening
out
to?
the red light. That's the car off of Night Rider.
You're cool, man. What's the tinted windows on it? Alloy wheels, man. The whole lot, man. Look at the body kit in it. Oh, man, come
They say
on.
that car.
Rapid.
They say that car is the only car in the world you can break into.
People who talk like this think I get to decide where I spend money and receive money. Chat, despicable. Mialga for 2 says, when can we put the HR department up against the wall? Very soon. The day of the HR Janny being wiped off the face of the planet can't come fast enough. Anime Sucks Copenhagen for 5 says, I am the mover. I speak loud and make memes that eventually sweep me off my own feet. I am my own worst enemy, but to not proceed is to decay. I must move. Very cool. Blue Info U for 1 says, Limerick City also used to be known as Stab City. In 2008, it was the murder capital of Europe, had 7 homicides per 100,000 population. Wow, 7? That's fucking dangerous, bro. Arkansas Einbrecht for 5 says, The Legend of Patelda, Tears of the Banshode. I have no idea what that means. Sneedo for 1 says, Josh, the type of neighbor to watch reruns of Full House and Family Matters to own the Jeets. I don't watch any TV, sorry. Bunker Housing for 7 says, the most illustrious Kiwi Emperor, we want your opinion on the Lauren Chen situation. If you have already given it, provide us with a funny antidote instead. I don't know who the fuck Lauren Chen is. Lauren Yusum Tom, Hong Kong Canadian, conservative, political, and former YouTube personality. Oh. She's the woman that was allegedly paid by Russia, right? I don't know. I don't really care. Like, what's the... I mean, I think that the allegation is that she took money to set up that media that... Like, if she did do that, she just hurt the careers of a bunch of people. Okay. Well, I mean, we should treat all people who take foreign money to promote foreign propaganda as enemies of the state, including the Indians, including the people accepting money from Israel, including the people accepting money from Russia. I don't know why this is unequivocal, why this is up for debate. Foreign governments should not be allowed to promote their perspectives in the United States through bribery. Like, why is this a bad thing? George Droid for 2 says, whoosh, can you hear that? That's the pendulum swinging. Even the most sheeple people, the Angloids, are waking up. Good luck. David Lammy for 1 says, come to England. No. Peen Wienerstein for 5 says, vote Jim Tressel. You won a national championship. Look up the 1994 Nebraska Cornhuskers OL from Coasty Lauren post-football careers. Okay, here we go. This phenotype carried America. Hell yeah. Look at those neck to shoulder ratios. That's what I'm talking about. Peen Wienerson for 5 again says, these players contributed more to society than all Indian immigrants in America combined. And there is another one, this time from the same person. It's the same tweet. You sent it twice. You very much so wanted you to see this. Saxon Bear for 10 says, the Goyim will look at your car, realize that it's the same car that was stolen from him, and see the pattern. Never risk persecution for your crimes. I don't think they just steal your car, though. I think that's somebody else. Thank you. Little Baby Child for 2 says, we should have known the semi-crash minivan didn't have white tea peepo in it. White people don't drive anywhere anymore. White people just stay home gooning and trooning. These hands, I think they're Indian. Pancake Luchador for 5 says, just came back inside from picking pecans. Hope you have a good one, Josh. Or pecans, as the American Pecan Society likes to say. Congratulations on your pecan harvest, sir. Melting Steel, subscribe for a month, thank you. About Tree Fitty, subscribe for a month, thank you. Drewby82 for 2 says, afternoon, Josh, what is your favorite ATHF episode? God, probably the one with the robot Santa Claus thing. That always stands out in memory. There's lots of them that are like so gory that I didn't like to watch as a kid. They're like just like a bit much. I do like the robot Santa one though. That's pretty good. That stands out in memory as being really funny. Bunker Housing for 3 says, at Nero Attack, yes, he reads the super chats from Rumble. It's true, I do. Nero Attack for 3 says, I bought these silver rounds from Zero Hedge, but I put them on the scale and one was 0.98 ounce and the other was 0.102 ounce. Shouldn't the silver rounds be the same or have they never been the normal weight? A silver round, when they advertise 1 ounce, are referring to 1 troy ounce. 1 TOZ to ounce is 1.09714, or about 1.1 regular imperial ounces. So if your coins are weighing at 1.02 and 0.98, that is wrong, and that is technically fraud if they advertise a troy ounce. Ballistic characteristic for 20 says, I'm having a hard time hiring people that aren't retarded, but I've never once considered hiring a foreigner. We need to send them all back. Very base, very true. Thank you. Sneedo, good luck with that, by the way. Sneedo, for one, says, Zitter is starting to realize that Obama and cash for clunkers ruined the used car market. I've heard that too. I know what you're talking about. Apparently, during the Obama admin, they paid to destroy used cars, which is why a used car is like $30,000 now. It's really hard to find a used car that's not just like as much as a brand new car. Citrus Addict, for one, says, the lighter the roast, the more the caffeine. Over roasting literally burns the caffeine out of the bean. Please look. I mean, that's why I'm drinking a light roast, bro. I know this. Strong coffee and nasty bitter coffee are basically opposites. Real Adonai for 15 says, hey, Josh, if this doesn't change your mind about Islam and the Prophet Muhammad, I don't know what will. And I guarantee you that this is the clip that I've already talked about where it's about the Prophet Muhammad being butt-fucked by genies. Oh. No, it's something else. Okay, let's see.
When we look at the Muslim sources, we learn that the Prophet married more women and girls than his own revelations allowed, married the wife of his own adopted son after causing the divorce by lusting after her, loved sucking on the tongues of little boys, was constantly covered in semen, and left us with a pretty good idea of where that semen came from, and he died in exactly the way the Quran said he would die if he was a false prophet. That's what they came up with. A Jewish woman offers to cook Muhammad a meal, even though he just slaughtered her entire family. There are about 8 billion people in the world. You could ask all 8 billion people, if you just slaughtered a woman's entire family and she says, hey, I'd like to cook dinner for you, is that a good idea to accept that offer? 8 billion out of 8 billion people will say that is the dumbest idea ever. Do not do that. Muhammad is the one exception in all of history who thought, gee, this is a great plan. The poison ate away at Muhammad's...
The Jew is like, yeah, that's one of our many tricks. One of the a classic, offer them a scrumptious bagel, but hide some arsenic in it. He's just laughing. The classic trick, a classic one. One of my favorites, actually. My mother told me this story.
Internal organs, and he died in horrible agony. Because look at what Muhammad said when he was dying. I continued to feel pain from the morsel which I had eaten.
Oldest trick in the Torah? Is that the book? Is that the book I've heard so much about? Is that they just changed it at some point to a book, whichever book that may be, a book of tricks, I suppose, an unnamed book of tricks.
This is the time when it has cut off my aorta. Why is that a strange detail to invent if you're making up stories about Muhammad? Because according to the Quran, that's exactly how Muhammad was told he would die if he was a false prophet.
Let's see. I've never heard that. I mean, I can't wait for all the fun things we get to learn about fucking Hinduism now that Indians are a topic. I never wanted to know anything about Hinduism or about fucking Islam, but I know that he got butt fucked in the desert. Thank you. Anime Sucks Scope and Sneed for 2 says NPR Paka, and again for 2 ma. 11th Circuit for 2 says the Indian question can't be solved while boomers are in charge. Their entire concept of Indians is a poof from The Simpsons, and when the Beatles did acid in India, they're incapable of seeing the issue. That's too fucking bad. We're going to elect people that get rid of them anyways. Bolt Action Loser, subscribe. Thank you. Gormless Wonder for 5 says, Harden is sending the equivalent of super chats midstream without paying. He pays in his endless labor for the Kiwi farms. Sizer and subscribe for a month. Thank you. Failding for $50 says, Sneed, thank you very much. The Uncredited for 10 says, Joshy, he's our man. If he can't sneed it, no one can. Thank you. Wallbanger Forever for 10 says, hey Josh, if one of my libtard friends was the hugest Destiny fan and would listen to him for all time when we lived together, disavowed him after his sexcapades. I'm not surprised. Like, there's like one golden rule when it comes to being progressive and representing liberal talking points, and that is Consent. You can get away with almost everything, but you can't heck and disrespect sex workers. You can't heck and disrespect troons. You can't heck and disrespect immigrants, and you can't rape. Those are you can rape if you're a conservative. You cannot rape if you're a progressive. So it's time to Red Rover. It's time for your alt-right Andrew Tate arc, Destiny. Just give it up. It's over. Coley Dante for 20 says, Jeremy's swimmers are dead. Empty fish tank. Very sad. Thank you. Hoss on the Cloud for 5 says, hey Josh, I just paid the $2 idiot tax for the 1.8 billion Powerball draw on Saturday. Just want to let you know if I win, I'll be in touch to discuss bankrolling your liberation of the uppercase I internet. 1.8 billion? That's pretty fucking good. I don't think they sell them in Florida though. Powerball. I think you have to drive up to Georgia or Bama to get some Powerball tickets, but I might do that. That sounds fun. You know what? If I had $1.8 billion, I would double chuck it because I'm not a pussy and scared money don't make money, bitch. Dios mío, La Cultura for 1 says, report Instacart to the feds, and then there's a link to the USCIS. Yes, this is what I was talking about. You can report people that you are suspecting are abusing the visa fraud scheme to them, and they might look into it. And if you are a whistleblower that receives retaliatory action in your workplace for reporting them to the USCIS, that is an additional offense, and you should contact the Department of Labor for retaliation. Unkind Naysayer for 2 says, gambling has literally disabled the mental blocks that prevent you from seriously hurting yourself on a whim. BMJ is cooked. I've never heard that before, but what you're saying sounds true to me, based on what I've seen. Ace of Sneeds for 5 says, boss man fucks a dude before October. Will your person stream be on him? Shit. I guess I could do boss man. I'll have to think about it. I don't have much time left though. Borello Furman for 1 says, if anyone has way too much money and is watching, I would also gladly take 30K to gamble with. I totally just won't run it on 99% chance dice until I can withdraw it. Good idea. Borello Furman is your juice recipient. Steendo for 2 says, Maddie.webp. Okay, let's take a look. It's an album cover for the YouTube version. It's got the Walmart sticker, Man at the Internet YouTube stream, clean lyrics, based. That's what I'm talking about. That's our representation here. I like the Walmart sticker. Space Allen for $50 says Ham Jam, a $50 tax-free Ham Jam. Thank you very much. Spingle Cat for 1 says, come on. Oh, of course, Josh forgot to mention Job sucking on a cheating troon cock. Listen, put it in the thread. I did not see it. If it wasn't put in the happenings thread, how could I see it? Citrus Addict for 1 says, outro song, please trust me on this one. No, I already have my outro picked out. Sneedo for 1 says, if only people that can have automatic weapons is hood rats with switches. Yeah, it's coming down to that. Unless we repealed the 1968 Gun Control Act. Ventard for 2 says, Jersh, DJ Chris's belly is actually a beer belly. That's pretty common body type in Funland and other beer-loving countries. I don't know if it's just alcohol that causes it or just beer. It had something similar before. Stop drinking so much. I mean, if I had to guess, your liver is fucked up and 3 times the size it should be, and that's what creates the roundness. If I had to guess, Bot or Not for 10 says, was able to order leftover merch. Turns out I was just too close to Canada while trying to order. Oh, yeah, if you go to matattheinternet.com, Matty.live, we have like 30 t-shirts left. I found out that I had inventory of an old design from COVID during Drop Kiwi Farms. So if you missed that and you want one of those shirts, we're in fall now, so all the hoodies and stuff are still there. I think I fixed everything, so you should be able to order now if you couldn't do it before. Thank you. About Tree 5001 for 10 says, it's great to see momentum working in your favor lately. Just be sure not to French fry when you should pizza, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. I know that reference as a South Park fan. I understand. Thank you. I'm also excited, by the way. I haven't said this, but like, I'm probably the happiest I've ever been. Like, every quantifiable metric of my life is either where I want it to be or progressing towards where I want it to be. And I really have like optimism for the country for the first time in my entire life. So I'm feeling good. Ace of Sneeds for 5 says, lowercase uppercase L, lowercase I internet, lowercase I. God, people have to do this. Lowercase I, uppercase I, internet, uppercase L, lowercase U, uppercase L, intranet, internet. Thank you. Gormless Wonder for 5 says, great company stream. Jason Horthall is accidentally brilliant. Tell your dyslexic brain to keep him coming. Apparently people like it. It's a feature, not a bug. Bunker Housing for 4 says, yeah, tattoos are fucking trash. Ricada getting his wolf tattoos. Melanie Mack also having been married. She's a Christian. She will forgive you. Also tax-free at Bunker Housing. Nobody forgives me. Winnie's Smoothie for 2 says, just tried some double Gloucester with onions and chives and recently pretty tasty. I can see why British people want to break their limbs chasing after a wheel of cheese down a hill. I did my cheese review recently, so make sure to subscribe to the Gumroad so you can see it. I have no cheese news to give you as a response to the super chat, sorry. Bradier for 5 says, pork jelly is just a generic name for ham jam. That's funny. The Bugs for 1 says, just like eating boar's head from Publix. Shut up. Bunker Housing for 3 says, yes, correct about the bribes, agreed, but also, according to her, they have dropped all the charges. So if this is true, then it was Biden admin trying to silence opposition again. I don't know, bro. Fatty Caddy for 2 says, Bossman Jack is such a sucker. Anyone who is average intelligence could win more and gamble better than Bossman. People need to develop a system and strategy. Then winning is easy. Get twisted, you will win. That's obviously not true. Fatty Caddy for 2 says, there is some very expensive coffee called Commeter. Please buy and review it. They extract it supposedly perfectly and have nice beans. So please buy the geisha coffee and review it. I want it on gum. No. That sounds like weird Japanese shit now that you say that. The Bugs for 1 says, hope you find a silver quarter in your chain, stalker child. Enjoy prison. I had to break a 20 for chains recently, and I looked through it and did not find any silver, unfortunately. Dios Mia La Creatura for 1 says, in the Muhammad Mud Hammock clip, that's Robert Spencer, a Turk, not a real Jew. Only the Arab version of one. He looks very Jewish. It's unfortunate. Haramburger for 2 says, when do we get a guest call in from Harden? Want to hear him respond to his super chat questions too. Oh boy, that would be fucking exhilarating, huh? He's considered, this is true. He asked me about maybe if he should do like a potentially criminal thing and go do streams. And I told him, no, don't do it. I said, look, just don't do it. Look at these people. Look at how their lives are. It's not worth it. Don't do the fucking internet thing. That's like the worst idea ever. I need to like protect Harden from the online. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if we win in the Supreme Court, we'll have a chat about the world, the law. Maybe I'll if he ever swings by, there's an open invitation for him to swing by at some point in the future. If he does, maybe I'll have my first in-person interview. Fatty Caddy for 1 says, I knew Lord Shen, she is base as a woman can get, and it's sad to see she is getting sent a dungeon in Canada for making a fuck up. Fatty Caddy always talks like he's completely fucking wasted. Lil Petard for 4 says, would you believe it? He's seething. I don't know what that means. Meowga1 for 1 says, merch run update. I'm working on it. I've contacted a producer. They said they can get it done in time for October. I will be doing it over this weekend. I've got a busy weekend, basically. Black Star Sneed for 1 says, Josh Moon 2025 colorized, and there's a post image link. Let's see what this is and if it's worth showing. It is a chud with the bright future ahead, which is like the Medicare thumbnail. And Asian tech support for 10, this is the last one, says, was stuck in meetings, so I don't know if you talked about this. Schlepp was on a panel with Chris Hansen today. Should make for a good segment next week. Yes, I am definitely paying attention to the Roblox stuff and their changes, so don't worry about that. I am paying attention. But there's not enough to kind of spoil it for this stream. On that note, if you have stuck with me all this time, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed. I'll see you guys next Friday. If you're on the Gumroad or the locals, I will be doing my video review. And I have a very special outro song. Stick around through it. It's funny, I promise. It's not, you're going to think, what the fuck is wrong with Josh? Why did he make me watch this? But you'll understand, okay? All right, take it easy. Bye-bye. Oh, this is quite loud. Let me turn it down just a bit. Okay, cool.
Well,
skin. I'm hunting you down like you've done our world. I'm hunting you down like you've done our girls. Consider another witch, consider another lie. We're gonna burn down every last pigs. No, you heard it right here, right here, right here. Every death we leave behind a curse. Don't take guys, bigger than the ones we were assigned to. Don't take guys.
Shut the fuck up, faggot.
Sweet honey in this motherfucker, boys. This is called Sweet Honey. And this is one of the best damn songs I have ever listened to. I am Joe. I'm a plumber from down south Alabama. And I want to let y'all know that y'all need to start listening to Sweet Honey. If you don't start listening to Sweet Honey soon, something bad might happen to you. I suggest you listen to Sweet Honey.
But not so pushy. If you wanna be coming and making sweet love to me, and if you're the type of girl that do anything me please, maybe then I realize you ain't got what I need to keep my soul alright. It keeps me up high above. Yes, me got a reason to come question your love. It keeps my soul alright. It keeps me up high above. One me girl that you come give me some sweet love, and in the morning time she make me feel alright. Then me gotta be waiting till the day turns to night, 'cause in the evening time she make me feel alright. Girl, you got me wishing this would happen every night. Said if you want to get with me, girl, this is what you'll find. But a man who's got the type of moves to make you lose your mind. You tell me that your loving's true on each and every day. You tell me that you've got the type of loving here to stay. Sweet honey.
Funny to me, the way she say she never give a loving for free. She say she got a man while she looking at me. Yes, she wanna love her with the sensitivity.
But won't you tell me that your love's from the heart? Yes, the type of loving that can tear mine apart. Girl, you got to realize before it ever starts. Yes, I am the man who won't come breaking your heart. Said if you want to get with me, girl, this is what you'll find. But a man who's got the type of moves to make you lose your mind. You tell me that your loving's true on each and every day. You tell me that you've got the type of loving here to stay. Sweet honey, she gonna steal my money, sweet honey. She gonna steal my loving. Yes, you try to tell me that you're sent from above. Girl, you give me reason to come question your love, sweet honey. She gonna steal my money, sweet honey. She gonna steal my loving. Yes, you try to tell me that you're sent from above. Girl, you give me reason to come question your love, sweet honey. To get with me, girl, this is what you'll find. But a man who's got the type of moves to make you lose your mind. You tell me that your loving's true on each and every day. You tell me that you've got the type of loving here to stay. Sweet honey, she gonna steal my money, sweet honey. She gonna steal my loving. Yes, you try to tell me that you're sent from above. Girl, you give me reason to come question your love, sweet honey. She gonna steal my money, sweet honey. She gonna steal my loving. Yes, she try to tell me that you're sent from above. Girl, you give me reason to come question your love, sweet honey. She gonna steal my money, sweet honey. She gonna steal my loving. Yes, she try to tell me that you're sent from above. Girl, you give me reason to come question your love, sweet honey. She gonna steal my money, sweet honey. She gonna steal my loving. Yes, she try to tell me that you're sent from above. Girl, you give me reason to come question your love, sweet